their season opener last week. And again, this is a shortened season due to COVID. Section 6 is playing 5 games. Monsignor Martin playing 6. This game number 2. And by the way, kudos to Ken Stolt for doing such a great job juggling these games, as some games unfortunately get canceled due to COVID, and he's able to do an unbelievable job in switching around and getting people to play. But we're coming into this game with South Park 1-0 and NT 0-1.
Yeah, South Park last week coming off an impressive win against Starpoint, 38-13, and a very solid effort all around. And both teams played last Thursday in a very, very frigid, very windy, very difficult conditions to play in for two offenses that love to move the ball in different ways. And we'll talk a little bit about that as the broadcast moves forward. But you will see the South Park Sparks. They have elected to receive the opening kickoff, and they will go back, and you will see some great playmakers for this South Park team under the tutelage of head coach Tim Delaney.
It's funny, you mentioned last week frigid conditions. Today we're in the upper 70s.
Oh, this is great.
It's beautiful. Like, okay, this is the way high school football season should be. I could get used to warm weather.
Yeah, we were out for practice a little bit earlier this afternoon in the hottest sun, and you're like, hey, you know what? I could do this. I can do with this. And then look at the weather next week, and it's going to be like 41 on Monday, and you're kind of,
Welcome to Western New York.
Absolutely.
Carson Wheeler will set to kick off for the Lumberjacks. Looks like Peril Fulgham is back to receive, one of the return men for South Park, the junior wide receiver for the Sparks.
And also back there, Keith Jackson, their all-Western New York returning running back.
And we're underway. Short kickoff. It's going to go to the up man at the 30, brought up the left side and taken out of bounds. That was Keon Dredd with the carry, with the return.
So South Park coming out, they're going to start on offense, Tony, here under the direction of quarterback Marquel Hepburn. He's a returning starter for them, a senior quarterback. Good athlete, and he does a good job of buying time when protection breaks down. Working with finding chemistry with the young receivers. South Park graduated their top 3 receivers from last year's team. Now they're in here, and they're kind of finding that chemistry, and that was one of the disadvantages of COVID, per se, is you really didn't get all those 7-on-7 reps and all that time to get on the same page.
First down and 10 for the Sparks. Ball spotted on the 30, just about the 37-yard line in the shotgun. Hepburn, hands off to the left side, breaking a tackle. He's got the 50, the 40, the 30, the 20, the 10. Touchdown, Fulgham.
Well, that's the explosiveness of South Park, and just like that on the opening play of the game. And I talked to head coach Rick Tom earlier today, and one of the things that he had mentioned that North Tonawanda had struggled with last week in the game against Williamsville South was that perimeter contain. And South Park obviously trying to pick on that on the opening play, and to great avail as Perel Fulgham, again, taking the long run, 63 yards officially, Tony, and that's a pretty fast player there to get to the perimeter, get the edge, good blocking, and South Park now out there to go for 2. They do not kick.
Hepburn in the shotgun, waiting for the snap. Hand off to the right side. Looks like the Lumberjacks have him stacked up. No, breaking a tackle, and he'll get in for the extra point. Keith Jackson.
Yeah, and just like that, I mean, you see, obviously we talked about Fulgham on the first play, but you see why Keith Jackson is what he is, and that's one of the better and more dynamic running backs in Western New York, and just a phenomenal job being able to make about 4 or 5 guys miss in the backfield.
Oh, you see that these guys are a handful for any defensive coordinator. The speed, the athleticism, the balance that they bring to the position.
And that's exactly what it is, because you saw in both plays, North Tonawanda had guys where they needed to be. They just couldn't finish on the play. And, that was one of the keys to the game from, talking to Coach Rick Tom was they just need to finish. And, they just need to get in there and make tackles. And, again, football could be a very simple game, and it's bare bones. Block, tackle, get to the ball. And they had 4 or 5 hats in the backfield. They just had to finish and make the play.
Keon Dredd out to kick for South Park. Aiden Pless to return, along with, I don't see who else. I can't see who's back there. So Pless is the return guy for North Tonawanda.
Dennis Johnson back there as well.
Short kickoff, fielded, and a fumble, loose ball. and it'll be blown dead at about the 38-yard line.
So out will come North Tonawanda, and if you know the Lumberjacks, you know that the name of the game is the triple option, and they will run the flex bone triple option. They're going to do it out of some different looks under offensive coordinator Ben Bunker, 2009 graduate for the Lumberjacks, 3-year varsity player. And they will be led by their sophomore quarterback, and that is Nash Rieselman. But one of the things, too, that, I mean, it's going to be an uphill battle for the Lumberjacks tonight is they're without their 2 starting slot backs, both out with injuries, and that's Carson Wheeler and Aiden Ferry, 2 pretty talented players. So North Tonawanda, the name of the game right now, get first downs and be able to establish a drive.
Rieselman in the shotgun, 1 back in the backfield, 3 receivers set, waiting for the snap. Handoff up the middle, and he is engulfed immediately by a host of South Park defenders. It looked like Tavi Cruz was the main man in on the stop.
Yeah, and Tavi Cruz, a defensive lineman, two-way guy. He's only a junior, but probably one of the breakout players for South Park last week in their game against Starpoint. Coach Delaney said he had a very, very strong game in there. The other thing to watch out, too, for South Park, 2 sophomore middle linebackers. So very fast players, very physical players, but also sophomores. So they're going to need to get themselves established here early in the game.
10:57 remaining in the quarter. Shotgun, quick pass to the right. On the left side, breaking a tackle, crosses the 45. That should be enough for a first down and then some.
Yeah, a quick screen out to Wally Wisniewski here into the boundary. Wally Wisniewski, one of the top athletes in Western New York, and Coach Tim Delaney made a point that we need to do a good job of containing him because he's going to be a big key to the Lumberjacks offense. They're going to have to figure out a lot of different ways creatively to get him the football, get it to him in the backfield, get him to the receiver position, get it to him in the slot position without their 2 starting slot backs in there for the Lumberjacks.
First down and 10:24 remaining in the quarter. This time Rieselman is under center. Man in motion, handoff up the middle, and he is brought down immediately for no gain, tackled by Damone Cole.
First look at the triple option from North Tonawanda there, just a little outside veer play, and they are going to have to figure out their way of how they're going to handle Marquand Fluitt, who is a Robert Morris commit for South Park, number 2. He's playing their left defensive end on that play. He is outstanding and clearly one of the best football players in Western New York, was a major contributor. He had 3 sacks last week. 3 sacks last week, even though he wasn't playing at close to 100%. He's been dealing through a little bit of a nagging injury, but he's been very, very solid and stout on the defensive front.
Rieselman under center, handoff up the middle. Maybe a yard on the play, if that. Some South Park players are signaling that he dropped the ball and it's their ball. No word from the officials.
And I think Mr. Drobitz, the official, is going to mark him down. But now you're going to put North Tonawanda up in a 3rd down and 7 situation, and this is going to be critical for North Tonawanda. Now, one of the big problems they had last week was controlling the center snap in these situations on 3rd down. They played decently against Williamsville South, but they had some center exchange problems here, and particularly on these maybe passing situations, these rushing situations. So, you know, you'll see the maturity of a young sophomore quarterback stepping up in here in this game.
Rieselman in the shotgun, 1 back in the backfield. The snap, quick throw to the outside. Broken tackle, but brought down. It's going to be close to a first. I think he's got enough. Again, to Wally Wisniewski, he's been their playmaker so far for North Tonawanda.
Yeah,
and it will be a first down.
Yeah, just a little switch screen out to the perimeter, and Wisniewski again, you know, you give him soft coverage, and you can see the explosiveness of the athlete. One of the key contributors of the Lumberjacks basketball team, headed up by head coach Ryan Mountain. And Wally was at St. Joe's last year and played there and put up great numbers and was, I believe, an all-Western New York player. Should have that in front of me, but nonetheless back with the Lumberjacks and key contributor to this team.
1st and 10 for the Lumberjacks, and that's going to be a keeper by Rieselman. Not much there, brought down by Antonio Halton.
Yeah, and they were trying to pick on the 3 technique. So, you know, when you're running the triple option, it's basically you're going to read somebody at the first level on the defensive line, and then you're going to go work to try to go pitch off of somebody at the linebacker level, or even sometimes in the secondary with the way North Tonawanda runs it. However, on that play, they were going to just make it a double option and say, okay, it's either going to be a give or a keep. and they were reading an interior defensive lineman there. And you can see North Tonawanda clearly their game plan right now is to run away from Marquand Fluid, and rightfully so, because he's a kid that, one of the rules when you're playing the triple option is if he's hard to block, he's easy to read. Well, that kid, you could probably do both pretty good, so you don't have many good options going in his direction.
2nd down and 9 for the Lumberjacks. Rieselman in the shotgun, end in motion, back to pass, throwing down the middle. He's got a man in the seam, the 10 to the 5.
And that's Dennis Johnson, number 12. Open on the play there. Good call by the Lumberjacks to attack the soft zone coverage there. Johnson, late added to the roster here, had not played football in the last couple years for North Tonawanda.
Yeah, I can tell because he's not on my roster.
Now Tonawanda going on the ball with tempo.
Rieselman under center. Now he's getting instructions from the sideline. Going back under center. One back in the backfield. And in motion. Fakes the handoff. He's going to keep it and stuffed at the line of scrimmage.
And close to the ball there. And again, right now it's a situation where you got to take care of the football. So here's what you have. You have South Park, who's kind of trying to play a little bit wider with their defensive front. They're keeping their defensive tackles out wider and keeping their 2 middle linebackers tight to the inside to kind of force that play that you saw there. And they did a good job of setting the edge into the boundary. And that South Park defense, again, is probably one of the better defensive units in all of Western New York.
Well, extremely well coached. 2nd down and 5. Ball spotted on the 5-yard line. Just about 6 minutes remaining in the opening quarter. South Park 8, North Tonawanda nothing.
And certainly, again, what the Lumberjacks wanted to do, establish an opening drive, get first downs, but now they need to capitalize here, and you got 3 downs to do it. Look to see if they can figure out a way to get Wisniewski involved.
Rieselman under center, one back in the backfield, 4 receivers set. Handoff up the middle, and he is met immediately at the line. No gain. Look like big number 55 again, Tavi Cruz.
Yeah,
stop.
Yeah, and Cruz again. He's used to getting down and dirty in those trenches there as he plays center on the offensive side of the football. But North Tonawanda tried to spread him out a little bit, get a lighter box, and run a little inside trap and trap that kid. But you can see the size and the strength of Cruz and the ability to get off the football. And now you're going backwards. So now you're in a 3rd and goal situation from the 6-yard line. And we'll see what the Lumberjacks are going to come up with here.
.458 remaining in the quarter. A little bit breezy here. North Tonawanda football complex. Rieselman, he's going to go shotgun now. They're showing 4 receivers.
It's going to be a delay of game, I think, here on North Tonawanda, though.
You don't like to see that, Sean. You don't want to shoot yourself in the foot.
No, especially when you get some momentum going into the into the red area, and especially the low red area inside the 5-yard line. So obviously now you're in a passing situation, Tony. You're thinking about getting half of it back on this play to give yourself a manageable 4th down situation. And you need to get touchdowns against South Park, not field goals, because again they're so explosive, as you saw in the opening play of the game.
All their offense needed was 1 play. Four receivers. In motion, the throw to the 5, breaks a tackle, and it looked like he got in. Touchdown, North Tonawanda. Was that Wisniewski?
It was Wally Wisniewski.
Yes.
So a little sprint out, a little flood pass, and Wisniewski getting to the flat there. Beautiful catch, and you can see that run after catch ability from Wally Wisniewski. Great job, and a nice job by the sophomore quarterback Rieselman. And again, we talked about the maturation process of a young quarterback. Had a really tough week last week. Getting the center exchange, trying to, make sure you're running the offense smoothly, because you got so much responsibility when you're a triple option quarterback, and obviously leading them down the field on this drive, going 4 for 4 passing, huge.
Point after is good. 8-7 is our score. So we'll take a break. When we come back, more action at North Tonawanda High School, North Tonawanda against South Park.
We realize now more than ever is the perfect time to have the perfect house. We're confident we'll find your dream home. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.
And we're back. Tony Caligiuri along with Sean Brusso. What a beautiful night for football, Sean. A little breezy. It's about, 76 degrees. I could get used to this. I really could.
This is awesome. And, I mean, again, it feels to me different because, again, we haven't had the opportunity to do a broadcast in years together, Tony. And, just having the memories and talking about guys like Roger Weiss and Rich Kozak, which, by the way, just want to send a nice thoughts and prayers out to his wife, Joanna, who's recovering from knee surgery.
Get well, Joanna.
So we're just really thrilled to be up here, and spring football is a go. And like you said, kudos to guys like Ken Stolt and his committee for working so hard to make it work.
Here's the one thing that the positive that I'm going to take away from having spring football, and much like they do down south with spring football, is huge. But it gets your underclassmen ready for the fall. Your freshmen, sophomore, and juniors are going to be so much better for getting this type of reps in the springtime when we start up again in the fall.
Yeah, and these guys are getting meaningful reps, and it's going to be a shortened off season for these guys. But you're really kind of having the opportunity to progress along, and these kids are getting, as Tim Delaney was talking about it last night, meaningful varsity reps. And he's got a very young team. He's going to have 8 guys back on his defense in the fall.
See, this benefits a team like South Park.
Huge.
Big time.
Huge, because he said he didn't know where those kids would be if they had to take a whole year, almost 2 years off of football, in padded practices. So
and then we need to remind our listeners that guys have been off for almost a year and a half.
Yeah.
South Park in the shotgun, throwing to the left side, completion. One move, and he is short of the first. Pass was completed to Amar Polk, the junior wide receiver of South Park.
And a good job there. Nick Chandra coming up to make the tackle at corner there. And Sam Heim, the sophomore middle linebacker for the Lumberjacks, 180 pounds. He's getting up there and doing a good job of securing the tackle, which is something that, again, they needed to make on the first play. But being able to get in here now and set that edge and make that play.
2nd down and 3 for the Sparks. Handoff. They almost had him in the backfield. Nifty move there, close to a first down. See where they mark it. But NT came so close. I believe it was Andrew Kozlowski who came in and almost made the big play in the backfield.
Yeah, and again, North Tonawanda getting guys there, and Jackson's such a hard back to take down. He's got a nice blend of size and speed. 5'11", 205. Runs through tackles very well.
In the shotgun. Hand off to Jackson up the middle, and he is stuffed for virtually no gain. Looked like Chris Kinney was in on the stop for the Lumberjacks.
Yeah, and Kinney's the seasoned veteran of this defense here on that defensive line. A 295-pounder did a good job of fighting the block and was able to get free and make a play. So, I mean, hey, NT, they showed up. They got the pre-first play jitters out clearly, and they're starting to settle in here a little bit on their defensive side, led by Rick Tom.
2nd down and 9 for the Sparks. Shotgun, handoff, end around, and he is big loss there. They went with number 15, Mario Taylor.
Was able to get free and make a play. So
and it looked like once again, Kozlowski was in on the stop.
Yeah, Koski got in there, and Wally Wisniewski too. And one of the things that has been different in North Tonawanda's defense this week, and it's a very actually interesting process, but they put Wisniewski on corner last week against Williamsville South to defend their best receiver, who's also an all-Western New York player. And now this week, because of South Park's run threat and their ability to throw the ball up the seams, they moved Wisniewski back to safety. So, on plays like that where he can be able to come down and be a part of the run fit. So a great play by number 33 back there for the Lumberjacks.
Shotgun, back to pass, rolling out to his right. He's got room. Was that Jackson, number 12 there on the stop? He didn't make that stop. He may still be going.
Yeah, he did a great job, and again, that's a big stick.
Rolling out
because
to
we
his
talked
right.
about
He's got room.
Hepburn's ability to get
Jackson,
in the open field and make guys miss and extend plays, and just the great pure athlete that he is. And again, Dennis Johnson coming up there to make the play, and that was again those outside plays, those breakdowns is what hurt North Tonawanda last week against Williamsville South. Trying to shore that up and doing a little bit better on this drive here towards the end of the first quarter.
Hepburn in the shotgun, back to pass. Looking, throwing deep, down the right side. And pass is deflected and knocked away. Great break up there by Nick Chandra.
Yeah, great job. And he kind of got lost a little bit there. South Park just ran 4 verticals. North Tonawanda, big cover 3 team. It makes sense. So, a little bit of momentum here. North Tonawanda, they need to get that capitalized on the offense as well and see if they can establish something on the ground game. And again, their big thing going into this game was just make progress, get first downs, establish the drive, keep control of the game, and be able to keep that South Park offense, to 3 and outs and to keep them off the field as long as they can. Because again, the triple option is geared to do that. But South Park is so explosive.
Not to mention the mental aspect. You don't want your team to get down.
Correct.
You don't want heads to be looking down. First down for North Tonawanda. Ball spotted on the 43-yard line. Handoff up the middle. Nothing there. A host of South Park players led by number 2, Fluid. Wait. Did he have the ball? The South Park players come out of the scrum with the ball, but I think they blew it dead.
They're going to say he was down. It was Jason Francis, the fullback for North Tonawanda, 5'9", 146 pounds. Not typically the type of fullback that you would expect in 146 pounds, Tony. However, the triple option's a little bit different, okay? And you want to get those guys that can kind of get some wiggle in there and shoot through those gaps quickly when you're reading. So
some confusion on the field.
Well, again, South Park thought they came out of the pile with the ball, which it appeared that they had, but it appears that forward progress was stopped along there.
Ball spotted on the 43-yard line. 45 seconds remaining in the opening quarter. South Park 8, North Tonawanda 7. Second down and 8 for the Lumberjacks. Rieselman in the shotgun and in motion. He's going to keep it, running the opposite. Brought down. Not much of a gain there. Antonio Halton on the stop for the Sparks.
Yeah, 2 yards at a time, North Tonawanda here. And, you could see that South Park did a really good job of stringing that out. And Coach Delaney, he talked about how difficult it is to have to prepare for it because typically you have stuff in the summer, you have a couple extra weeks. You could start sprinkling that stuff in when you have to face unconventional offenses and unconventional defenses for that matter. You could start sprinkling it in little bit by little bit. Here, they had to prepare for a team in 10 days in in Star Point, and now you had to defend the triple option and do it in about 4 days. And you're never going to be able to replicate it at full speed either.
Let's take a break. We are at the close of the first quarter. 8-7 is our score. South Park up on North Tonawanda.
When it's time to sell your home, start with a visit to howardhanna.com, ranked the #1 real estate site for sellers. A few clicks will show you the sales price you can expect for your home. We can get you the most money in the quickest amount of time because we know where the local buyers are and how to reach them. So if it's time to sell your home, visit howardhanna.com today, and we'll match you with a local Howard Hanna agent to sell your home fast.
I love being home.
We're back live. Tony Caligiuri along with Sean Brusso, North Tonawanda High School. The Lumberjacks hosting the Sparks. Well, you and I had a chance to talk with former North Tonawanda head coach Eric Jancy before the game about the problems that they're facing because of the long layoff. You haven't been in pads, teams struggling with the center quarterback exchange, just the rhythm, the timing all out. A lot of these guys, all they've had is Zoom meetings for a year and a half.
Yeah, and I mean, we've dealt with it too at Lancaster, obviously. So, the kids just want to be kids. That's kind of the biggest thing that they've been deprived of to some extent. I mean, obviously we're dealing with extenuating circumstances. However, kids did a really good job of just buying in. And our kids, for example, whenever you asked them to do anything, whether it be deliver Christmas gifts, be at a Zoom meeting, do cell phone workouts in your driveway, all logged into a Zoom meeting that way, they were there. And kids they want to play football and they want to be a part of this. So it's great to see them out here.
Rieselman back to pass. Flag's down, and he is sacked by Marquand Fluid. But as I said, a flag is down.
Yeah, it's going to be an illegal formation on North Tonawanda here. It didn't look like Johnson was set. They didn't have enough guys on the line of scrimmage. North Tonawanda was in a trips formation to the field, and Johnson wasn't on the ball to the boundary. So some miscommunication within that play there. So this should be a declined penalty from South Park, and it'll put in a 4th down and long for the Lumberjacks and will force them into a punting situation. But you see Marquand Floyd, he's just getting into his groove right now. And, again, it's hard.
He climbed over the offensive lineman to get in there.
And that's what you would expect out of a Division I commit. He's pretty good.
Yeah, he is.
You know, and again, was a big part of that South Park team last year that, you know, that won the Class A championship, lost to Canandaigua in the Far West Regionals. I say last year, but it's really so tongue-in-cheek because it was a lot longer than last year.
The last season that we were able to have.
Correct.
Shotgun, back to pass, rolling out to the right. Throwing down the right sidelines. He's got a man. Wisniewski catches it. Touchdown, North Tonawanda.
Well, we got a flag on the play here, so you got to hold everything here. And it's going to be another illegal formation on the Lumberjacks. And that's going to negate.
That's a great play. Even though there was a procedure there, but it was a great play, and that's going to come back.
Yeah, and if try to tell and see what had happened there, you could see the explosiveness the Lumberjacks have. And, again, the ability to get Wisniewski, who's also one of the premier players in Western New York, involved.
And Wisniewski's showing he has some wheels.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's incredibly fast. I mean, I remember watching him play. He was a freshman on the varsity basketball team, and they were playing that really good West Seneca West team, and he was one of the better players on the court and just a phenomenal athlete, you know, from a young age, and has finally found his way back to the Lumberjacks field. He's dealt with some injuries. He was at St. Joe's. Now he's back on the Lumberjacks football field. So we'll see what they come up with here.
3rd down and 25. You have a 3rd down and 25 play, Sean?
Maybe.
Maybe. 4 receivers set. Back to pass. He's got time. Throwing it up the middle. And he's got Wisniewski again. Brought down at the inside the 10-yard line. He just rainbowed it right into between the 3 and the 3. 4 receivers set.
Well,
back to pass.
They just ran the deep post.
Throwing it
and
up the middle.
I mean, I'll tell you what, I've coached some fast players in my
Wisniewski
career. You know, I think of guys like Ethan Tchaikovsky, Nick Mira. That's a different gear of speed from Wally Wisniewski. Right there. That and to run a deep post over the top, and now North Tonawanda going on the ball in tempo, and they got South Park to jump off sides on top of it.
They'll mark off 5 against South Park. North Tonawanda threatening, trailing by 1, 11-14 remaining in the half.
You know what, Tony, and without getting into too many schematics and too many exuberant plays and football ideology.
But I like that
when
stuff.
It's 3rd and 23, you call players, not plays. And they dialed up something for Wisniewski there, deep over the top on the big post.
And it makes so much sense.
Oh, it was a beautiful play. Good throw, too. And, again, sophomore quarterback starting to come into his own a little bit, finding a little bit of confidence because that's not only 1 but 2 big boy throws in a row there.
Sean, he dropped it right in the basket. It was perfect.
Great throw from Rieselman.
And it does wonders for the confidence. So 1st and goal for the Lumberjacks. Rieselman under center and in motion. Handoff. Up the middle, doesn't look like there was much there. Maybe a yard. And a flag down.
Yeah, I think they're going to get the slot back who was in motion, kind of moving towards the line of scrimmage a little bit. So
this isn't the CFL.
I believe that's the call. I missed Mr. Drobitz's signal. But it appears the Lumberjacks are moving backwards a little bit. So, again, you don't want to move backwards in this red area. Now, one thing of note we were looking at was Wisniewski here on the sidelines getting taped up by longtime North Tonawanda athletic trainer Darren Vukovic, College of Brockport grad. And it appears Wisniewski is up and good to go. But now, again, a 1st and 9, and you don't want to negate good momentum and you don't want to negate good plays by moving backwards in these situations.
Got a whistle. It looks like there's going to be a timeout. Or is this an official's timeout?
I think it's an official's timeout, and they're signaling it back in here. So,
ball spotted on the 9-yard line. Under center. Handoff to the left side. Nothing there. Met at the line of scrimmage by almost the entire South Park defense.
Yeah, and on that occasion there, they were trying to run triple, the triple option out to the boundary side again, away from Fluid. However, they were trying to double team the interior defensive lineman, and pretty big player who's in there for South Park, try to get a number on him.
And sometimes it's tough to read because you see the players, what they'll do is they lift up their jersey. They want to show
Yeah,
that they got ripped abs, even if they're big.
My kids do that too, especially when you're a big guy like Jameer Stevens, 6'1", 285, Tony, but they weren't able to get the double team, get any push on him.
All right, Rieselman's in the shotgun. We have 3 receivers to the left. Back to pass, quick throw to the right. He's got Wisniewski in the end zone, touchdown.
Well, call players, not plays, Tony. So, again, you're starting to see the emergence of Wally Wisniewski in Western New York, and
all right, Rieselman's in the shotgun.
Very, very positives here.
I like what they did by moving everybody to the left side and then just inside. Touchdown.
Yeah, they've just done a good job of isolating him. But, hey, I got to give the hats off here because, again, I mean, obviously South Park has a phenomenal defensive line, and they're doing a pretty good job of protecting the quarterback back there, which is, again, something that they had some difficulties with last week against Williamsville South.
The snap, the put down, the kick is good. So North Tonawanda takes the lead, 14-8, 9-11 remaining in the half.
So, again,
well, line of scrimmage is so important. But I have to looking out. What I like to do is scout the teams before the game. Kind of look at who has the size advantage. It looked like South Park a little bit beefier up front, but the Jacks are doing a great job holding their own in the trenches, except on the run plays where they need to go up the middle.
Yeah, they need to be able to try to generate something here, and you really haven't seen now. You know, one of the things that I would expect to see is a little bit of toss plays. Maybe you'll see some, for Wisniewski in there where they're going to try to get him the ball into the toss play on the backfield. Long-time staple of that North Tonawanda offense. I know I ran it for a few years. So that's something that you can expect to see possibly from Wally. And at the same time, too, they just need to figure out a way to try to get some movement. But, if you keep going, and you keep just kind of putting your foot down and playing resilient in there, eventually the triple option, it just takes one to break. And that's what makes that offense so dangerous. And it can happen anytime.
Waiting for the kickoff. Short squib kick, fielded at the 45, just short of the 50. Jackson for North Tonawanda on the stop. It looked like it went to number 22, Giovanni Pagan.
And we're going to have
a flag.
And we'll see here. It was a very, very late flag.
What would be the purpose of the short kick, Sean? Is there somebody back there that they're fearing?
Oh, Jackson, for sure. But I would think that one of the things that they would do, we're going to get a dead ball personal foul here on the Sparks. So, again, that's not ideal, especially after the attempt. I think they were honestly going to try to just chip it up and try to hopefully get down there and get a clean hit on somebody and get the ball on the turf and try to recover it.
Get somebody who's not used to touching the ball.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you what, too, Tony, and we talked about this for years on the radio, and we've talked about it and gone back and forth, the importance of special teams. And it's something that might be lacking early on in the season, especially in this COVID season, in this shortened deal. How much time have you really had to really focus on special teams? So, and that's a great blanket, statement for across Western New York.
Hepburn the shotgun. Quick throw to the right. Incomplete. Pass intended for Fulgham. No good.
Yeah, a little bubble screen and did a pretty good job of rallying to the ball. But, South Park, I would expect them to go into trips a little bit more and try to get after him a little bit. So, second down and long situation for South Park.
Ball spotted on the 33-yard line. 9:02 remaining in the half. NT 14, South Park 8. Hepburn in the shotgun. Hands off to the right side. There's one broken tackle and a flag down. Keith Jackson breaking tackles, but we do have a flag in the backfield.
Yeah, they're going to get a block in the back here on South Park, and that's going to back them up a little bit. So Wisniewski, though, you saw him come down from that safety spot, and we talked about that was their key defensive adjustment for North Tonawanda, running this 3-5 defense, 3-3 stack defense that Rick Tom has employed for years. And Wisniewski being able to come down and be that extra safety fitter, making a great job on that play.
8:54 remaining in the half. Before we go to half, we will check in with Frank Wolf, get an update on scores around the area.
So
it's
now,
so difficult keeping track of who's playing who because games are being switched, canceled, moved.
It is, and you know what? Again, you're fearful every second of the day that you're going to get a phone call that you don't have a game that week, or things are going to be shuffled and jumbled up. And again, kudos to Kenny Stolt and his crew for making a lot of this work.
Quarterback keeper Hepburn on the right side, breaking a tackle. Got back the penalty yards and then some. We'll see where they spot him out of bounds.
Great job on the read option there by Hepburn. He pulled that one in there. He even had me fooled on it a little bit, and then you can see the speed of Hepburn once he gets out to the perimeter. Fantastic job. And again, going to put South Park in a much more manageable 3rd down and 8 situation. But anything can happen here. It could be 4-down territory. You need to understand the coaching trees that all circled around Craig Krasansky at Williamsville South and his "we don't punt" philosophy.
And we always wear shorts.
Correct.
Handoff to Jackson on the left side, breaking tackles, crossing the 45 to the 50. That'll be enough for a 1st down for South Park.
And it was actually Fulgrim who they gave the ball to, the long touchdown carrier on the first.
You're right.
On the first play of the game there, but
There's so many weapons.
Yeah, they do. I mean, they are clearly one of the contenders in Class A for the championship, and North Tonawanda hanging in there with them right now.
1st down and 10 for the Sparks. Ball spotted on the 50-yard line. Shotgun, Hepburn. Hands off to Jackson on the right side. The 45. And dumped. You guys kind of call that a body slam tackle.
Well,
trying to get the number.
That was Wally Wisniewski, and let's just say he showed up to today with some bad intentions. So, I mean, Wally just pile drived him into the ground from that safety position, and that is textbook film there on how you fill the alley and how you finish on an all-Western New York running back.
2nd down and 4. Handoff again to the right side of Jackson. He's got enough for a 1st down. Shoved out of bounds at the 34-yard line, it looks like.
And good for the 1st down. And, Tim Delaney trying to get control back of this game. Obviously, North Tonawanda, 2 good drives, big plays by Wally Wisniewski, and we knew that coming into the game, that he was going to be the guy that they were going to try to focus on and try to get the ball to. But, South Park, regroup, don't panic. And that's something that Tim Delaney said that's been great about this group is they've been very settled down when things didn't go so well, even last week against Starpoint.
Back to pass, throwing deep ball to the left side, overthrown. Pass intended for Amar Polk.
Yeah, the Jacks got a little bit of pressure on Hepburn there, but put it up there, and pretty decent receivers for South Park there. And again, the intended receiver there was Amar Polk, the junior receiver. Had a good week last week for South Park, and again, it was very windy conditions and very difficult to get the throw game going a little bit last week.
We got a timeout on the field. North Tonawanda taking a timeout with 6:46. We'll do the same. We'll be back after this.
I love being home.
With exclusive buyer insights and our 100% money-back guarantee, we're confident we'll find buyers for your home. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.
And we're back. Tony Kelligeri along with Sean Brusso. Frank Wolf with scores around the area. What do you have for us, Frank?
Hey, what's going on, fellas? Okay, both of these games are in the second quarter. Western New York Maritime Health Sciences, they lead Maryvale 20-0. Addison Copeland has 2 touchdowns early in that game. Frontier is out to a 14-0 lead over Hutch Tech. They are hosting the Engineers this evening. Those are your out-of-town scores.
Meanwhile, we have 6:46 remaining in the half. North Tonawanda 14, South Park 8, North Tonawanda with the timeout.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, too, that just, piggybacking on the out-of-town scores. By the way, congratulations to Nick Todaro, longtime South Park assistant coach with Tim Delaney, winning his first head coaching game at the Maryvale staff. He's taken over for Jeff Bucheri, who remains on staff in a little bit of a smaller capacity. Obviously, his daughters are getting a little bit older, and they have the Lancaster Girls Lacrosse Empire, him and his wife Julie.
Lady Monsters.
Yep, so they're still going strong, and congratulations to Nick and his staff on their win against Dunkirk last week. A big win.
Sure.
And Frontier, too. Rich Gray longtime athletic director. He stepped down as the head coach after the 2009 season. He's back in charge. They brought back their version of the triple option, and they've looked very, very good in their first 2 games so far. Obviously, out to a big lead against Hutch Tech early on in the game, and had a very solid outing last week against Williamsville North. And they're looking to be getting their hat into the ring into the double A's, and they are a very, very legitimately good team.
Tomorrow night, Tom Prince and I will bring you the action at Riverside High School as Burgard hosts Pioneer.
Know anything about Burgard, Tone?
Not much this year.
Screen.
I know a good fullback from back in the day, though. Incomplete pass intended for Fulgham. Try to get him in the slot. A little bit too far away.
Yeah, just a little bit of a slow screen. They were trying to set up a tunnel underneath it, and North Tonawanda's guys came running up the field. It was a great call. Coach Tom brought a pressure out of the timeout and just wasn't able to connect in space. But if they did, man, they had a lot of grass or whatever you want to call this synthetic surface that they're playing on nowadays. We don't know what that is. We're still down in Lancaster. We play on grass, so.
Come on, even my team plays on turf. Back to pass. Hepburn throwing down the right side. He's got a man open. Touchdown, South Park. I can't get a number on it. It's a little bit too far away.
I believe it was Taylor.
Come on, even my team plays on
Yeah.
Mario Taylor.
Mario Taylor, who caught it, senior receiver.
Hepburn throwing
Speedy
down
guy,
the right
5'7".
side.
They were trying to
He's
hit
got
him
a man
earlier on the
open.
drive, but,
Touchdown, South Park.
you know, the big thing on that play was a great job on the South Park Sparks offensive line, setting the protection. Hepburn had forever to throw that ball down the field and was able to drop it in there on the long throw down the sidelines.
It just goes that they are so explosive. Whether it's running, throwing, you have to be prepared every single play when you're going up against South Park.
Yeah, so now South Park's going to go for 2 here. You're going to look like you got to be
Hepburn
thinking.
being in the shotgun. They have 2 backs in the backfield.
Looks like Fluid's back there too.
Rolling out to his right. Looking to throw. Incomplete. Ball went into the ground. No good.
Yeah, so that's North Tonawanda. They bring a lot of pressure down by the goal line. They run their variation of their goal line package, which has been very, very successful for years. Was successful when, you know, Eric Jancy and I ran it at Springville down a few years, way more than a few years back. It's been successful up here, and again, it forces a lot of pressure. It's straight man-to-man across the board, and you know, kind of accelerated things a little bit there. So you could see South Park, though, they kind of had some guys, bigger guys, protecting the edges there. You know, good job scouting by Coach Tim Delaney, but a big stop nonetheless for the Lumberjacks, keeping the score even at 14.
Absolutely. Let me ask you this, if from your coaching perspective, how has it been evaluating players to know what you have coming up when you're restricted?
Well, I mean, you got to kind of do your homework, you know, in regards to the JV and the freshman programs. We still have a freshman team at Lancaster. Not everybody in Western New York does. But it really just – it's about program. It's not varsity team, JV team, modified team anymore. You have to have a total unified program, all moving in the same direction to be successful in football nowadays.
Short squib kick fielded at the 49-yard line. It looked like Anthony Swan with the carry for North Tonawanda. Not much there. I don't know if the kicker intended to that or he just kind of hit the ball on the side, but didn't go very far.
Well, we're seeing dueling squib kicks, it appears,
Really?
from both teams here. So,
Well, it goes back to your point of not being able to spend enough time practicing special teams.
yeah, or you know, and just you kind of got to develop what you have. You don't have all summer to work on it. So
Can't do this in a Zoom meeting.
No, you got to work on that every day. So
6:32 remaining in the half. Rieselman under center. Handoff up the middle. Met immediately. You could hear the pads popping all the way up here. Looked like he fumbled it.
Yep.
And South Park recovered. And I think that was Antonio Halton.
Yeah, botched exchange on the mesh point there. And it was Antonio Halton, 6'3", 210-pound defensive end. Take your pick, Tony. I mean, who do you want to run at? You can run at Fluid, who's 6'1", 235, or 6'3", 210, who can both play.
He got his pads low underneath, and as I said, I could hear the pop from up here.
So
the ball came out.
They were trying to run option right up the middle on that play in the A-gap, the old midline option play, and they did a pretty good job of just blowing it up, and fullback exchange on the mesh point just wasn't clean. and gives South Park the play. Let's see if they take a shot on first down.
Hepburn back to pass, throwing. Oh, incomplete. Just missed his receiver on the right side.
And we did have some blown coverage there as, South Park did go up top. They sent 4 verticals, and, you're going to see that from South Park. They love to attack you vertically. They're very good at attacking the seams. They had guys open and just unable to make the connection on that last one there. So second down and 10. But when you flip the script and you look at things, and we were talking a little bit about the Craig Krasansky philosophy of we don't punt, it really changes the whole mathematics and odds in a series, because instead of the old, you need 3 yards of play, well, now you can look at it that you need 2 yards of play, 2.5 yards of play.
And that's been, that's a trend that's kind of taken steam across the country of no punting. I have a couple coaches friends constantly busting my chops not to punt.
Yeah, and Kay broke it all down for me, and I don't think there's too many smarter guys in Western New York when it comes to football as Craig Krasansky.
Let me tell you how he's going to be, Sean. You're going to run it like this.
Yeah, and Kay's a good buddy and a good friend of North Tonawanda coach Rick Tom and Tim Delaney as well in South Park. So, like I said, these coaching trees in Class A kind of all stem from Kay a little bit. So now you got a third down and 10 situation here. Let's see if they go to the run here to be able to.
Krasansky's such a good guy.
Oh, one of the best.
Hepburn in the shotgun. Handoff. Looks like Jackson on the carry. He's fighting for yards. Maybe 3 on the play.
North Tonawanda looked like they came up with the ball, but a little bit late to no avail. Wisniewski looked like he got dinged up a little bit on that play, but he is up. So
when you have a team that throws like South Park does, now obviously we're looking at a possible throwing situation here. What's the job of the safeties? Are they to play zone, pull back, and double the outsides?
Yeah, they're playing cover 3 in this situation, and they're playing some roll and show games in North Tonawanda, and they disguise a lot of it. But the majority of the time, I think we're going to see cover 3. South Park's going to take a timeout, so I can explain it a little bit more for you, unless we're going to commercial break.
No, go ahead.
All right, then I can talk a little bit schematic. So, yeah, you have the middle of the field safety, and on a run play, his job is basically to kind of fit off the outside linebackers who are out there, okay? So if that outside linebacker, he's supposed to be getting outside the slot receiver to fit the run, and you hear that a lot of times, especially when you talk about the Bills and Leslie Frazier and their defense. Well, that safety has to work in tandem with that outside linebacker to fit with him too, okay? So if that outside linebacker goes outside, the safety has to come down and fit inside the slot receiver, okay?
Right.
Now, you got to get a good run pass key, because if you just start getting your nose stuck up there, they can go over the top vertically on you. So if you play 2 safeties, you're usually going to rotate it either strong or weak, depending on where you are and what you have. Usually teams will rotate it weak if you're a cover 3 team, okay? And when you have a guy like Wisniewski, his job back there is your center field, and he has to see all 21 guys in front of him, and he has to, QB key break on the ball from the quarterback's front shoulder and roll around like that and make sure nothing gets beat over in the seams, which he did on that last one. But on the run game, he's got to come up and fit off of where that slot receiver is and kind of keep everything funneled in and around the C-gap alley.
A lot to think about. Hepburn in the shotgun. 4 receivers, back to pass. Looking to his left, now rolling to his right. He's going to heave it up the right side to the end zone. And too far, out of bounds. Hey, he just launched a rock pass. Looking to his left, now rolling to his right. For the intended receiver.
Well, the NT defense did a pretty
heave it
good
up
job
the
of
right
pursuing
side
him.
to the
He
end
did break
zone.
contained in the pocket. I thought if he would have went at first, he could have just went and had it, but
4th and 5. Throw to the end zone. I don't understand that one.
Yeah, I think it could have been a takeoff and then just in kind of a half-designed quarterback draw play. But the NT defense did a pretty good job of bottling it up and forcing it outside. They didn't really break through and get penetration on their pressure, but they did a good job of forcing the play wide and forcing the play outside. So and the quarterback decided to make the throw deep, and so now NT is going to take over, and hey, now all of a sudden you're in a dogfight. If you can establish a drive right before half, you get the ball to start the second half potentially. You can find yourself in a 2-score game if all goes well.
Handoff up the middle. Looks like he lost a yard on the play. Not much there for Kozlowski.
Yeah, so, again, you could see that the staunchness of this South Park defensive unit, and again, their defensive line and linebackers are doing a great job in their front six. And
well, Antonio Halton's been an absolute beast in the middle of the field.
Yeah, he's done a nice job at that 3 technique spot.
Between him and Cruz, forget it.
So Jameer Stevens and, Fluid, obviously we talk about as the big guy in there. But the 2 sophomore little linebackers, Damari Johnson, big guy, 225, and Bland, 175 in there, both sophomores, have been doing a fantastic job of bottling up this North Tonawanda option attack.
Rieselman under center. Back in motion, and Rieselman is just engulfed. Stop there, nothing to it. Marquand Fluid with the stop.
Yeah, and again, that's, just you had some bad motion right there. I won't tell you what we used to call it when I was coaching here at North Tonawanda, but we had some mistakes here in the backfield. So South Park is going to take the penalty and back them up here to make it a 2nd down and 13, which is perfect for Rieselman because this is where he seems to thrive tonight, is in these long distance situations. So
yeah, we're going to see Wisniewski going up the right side or up the middle.
Wouldn't be a bad play.
Pass.
Wouldn't be a bad idea. We'll see what Coach Bunker and the offensive coordinator has gotten drawn up.
South Park's keeping their safety back pretty far. He's deep. Rieselman's going to carry on that one, and he's got to the original line of scrimmage. Looked like big number 12, Damari Johnson, with the tackle for South Park.
Yeah, and finally Rieselman got a little bit of room, and you saw how fast those linebackers closed. So now you're going to force them into a 3rd down and long situation here. So what a great job in the closing speed from those linebackers. Correction will be 4th down, actually. They flipped the box a little bit late on the last play when I saw it. So
well, the scoreboard still showing 2nd down.
I could have been
They're
napping, though.
yes.
I mean, I could have been taking a quick little cat nap here. So it looks like 4th down and 9. So South Park must have declined that previous penalty. And it looks like there'd be some confusion. Mr. Drobit's working his way over. And we're going to take a
North Tonawanda timeout.
So
we might as well keep it here with 3:10 remaining in the half, 4th down and 9. They're spotting it on the 39-yard line. We're tied at 14.
Yeah, a little bit of a barn burner, probably a little bit closer than a lot of people expected. But, you got to give your hats off to the Lumberjacks. They've been playing hard tonight. And
well, you knew they were going to come to play. You look at Class A, it's competitive.
Yeah, and I mean, South Park, they've done a great job at the option. And I was talking to Tim Delaney again about it, and you can't emphasize it enough. When you're trying to prepare for a team that runs the triple option, you're never going to have a team that's going to run it as good, your scout team, your prep team, as the other team does. So it's going to be hard to get full speed reps. It's going to be hard to play, and especially on a short week where you had no summer to work through it.
Right, you're just basically going through concepts at this point. Just this is what they will do, and you're drawing it up either on on a chalkboard or you're doing it online.
Yeah, so
completely different live.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a tricky offense to defend, but you have to make sure that you are still sound in what you're doing, even though you can see South Park is playing a very conservative attack this week and dealing with the option. But
North Tonawanda will punt. Waiting for the snap. Low snap. Able to get it under control. Gets a decent punt off, and it's going to take a North Tonawanda bounce to about the 25-yard line.
All right. So now South Park will see what they come back with. I would expect to see them run the ball a little bit more. Again, I think that they need to get the ball to Jackson and let him do his thing. And obviously Fulgrim has been a good option for the Sparks as well. So we'll see what Coach Delaney comes back with here on the offense. With 3 minutes to go, they still have 2 timeouts, so plenty of time to drive down the field and make something happen.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, Section 6 rules, as I'm looking out into the stands, you're allowed 2 people per player.
Correct.
2 fans per player.
Correct.
And they must call the school to make arrangements?
No, they get here we go.
That's going to be good for a 1st down, long run there by Jackson.
Yeah, and they just ran a little split flow zone play there, and he was able to get positive yards. So, good play on 1st down for South Park to get moving, and it looks like they're going to speed things up a little bit. To answer your question really quickly, Tony, yes. Each player gets a pass for 2.
Jackson with the carry.
You don't know if he's going to break it.
That's
I don't want to
exactly-
finish
I
my
was holding
sentence.
My breath. I
So,
was waiting.
but
About an 8-yard carry on the play.
But essentially, each player gets 2 passes or 2 badges that he brings home to whoever it may be, and then he can distribute them as they will. And then when they come to the gate, they got to sign in. So.
Okay. Hepburn in the shotgun. Hand off to the left side. Didn't get much there for Fulgham.
It was Johnson again. He's doing
Johnson coming up on hand off.
Yeah, and they're starting to get settled in a little bit. And again, we talked about the perimeter support of the North Tonawanda defense. That was one of their keys to the game, was making sure that they were able to set the edge better and force things back inside and don't let teams circle the field. And other than the first play of the game, they've done a pretty darn good job of that.
3rd down and 1 for South Park. Hepburn in the shotgun. 2 backs in the backfield. Handoff to Jackson on the right side. He bounces it out, breaks a tackle. He's got room to run. And they're going to push him out of bounds just shy of the 30. It'll be a 1st down, South Park.
Yeah, and it is not a...
In the shotgun,
it is not a bad
in the backfield. Handoff to Jackson on the right
not
side.
A bad option.
He bounces it out, breaks a
keep
tackle.
Him the
He's
ball.
got
And
room
I
to
think
run.
If you can wear down this defensive front for North Tonawanda a little bit, I think you're going to find yourself in really good shape here. So that's going to give them a 1st and 10 on the 33-yard line. 1:37 to go here in the first half.
Hepburn in the shotgun. Hands off to Fulgham on the right side. Breaking tackles. He's got a 1st down and more. Crosses the 20, and he'll be just shy of the 15.
1:37 to go just here right in down the their first throat half. With authority, and this is
Hepburn
the sign of a championship team. Okay, you kind of got
Fulgham
some
on the
things
right
that didn't
side.
go your way
Breaking
so
tackles.
much, and you
He's
need
got
to
a
move the
1st
ball.
down.
You go and you speed things up. You go with some tempo. You move the ball, and we're going to just be better. We're just going to run it right down your throat, and they've done a good job of that. And NT is going to take a timeout here to settle things down. Let's talk about it. Let's get into there. I wouldn't be surprised to see them go to their goal line package now on the 15-yard line. They did last week against Williamsville South at one point.
1:19 remaining in the half. We're tied at 14. Ball spotted on the 15-yard line. And with South Park, it could be a pass. It could be run right, run left, quarterback. So much in their toolbox as far as what they can use.
They are. And again, it's a testament to what they have coming back from last year's team. And, Coach Delaney did a really good job of just keeping everything even-keeled last week against Starpoint. It was the first game. Things maybe didn't go necessarily well. They put the ball on the ground about 4 times. They lost 2 of them, but not too high, not too low. They kept everything pretty even-keeled, and he said – he gave a lot of credit to the leadership on his team and the seniors out there that have played in big games, albeit 14, 15 months ago, but did a pretty good job of just, hey, look, everything's going to be okay. Let's just keep ourselves under control, keep the composure, and go out there and play football. And they've done a really good job, and you saw that on this drive, and that's why they are a very good football team.
Breaking huddle now. So 1st down and 10 for South Park. Imagine they'll keep going with the shotgun with Hepburn and see what he does here. North Tonawanda does look like they're bringing up the defense a little bit tighter.
Yeah, they're not in their goal line deal yet here. They're still sitting in their three stack personnel.
Slot man in motion. Handoff to the left side. Maybe 3 yards on the carry for Fulgham.
Yeah, it looks that way. Maybe a long 3. But you saw the good job by the defense for North Tonawanda, setting a wall, building a fence, keeping them inside, and again, securing that edge, and that's what you need to do.
Fill the gaps and close in. Hepburn's going to keep it himself, makes a man miss, crosses the 10, the 5, touchdown, South Park.
It's going to be a hold coming back here.
Yep, flags on the field.
And it looked like Amar Paulk, who was the receiver, kind of had a hold on the corner there, and we couldn't get him
Fill
free.
The gaps and close in.
So that's going to back him up
keep
from
it himself,
the spot.
makes a man miss, crosses the 10, the 5, touchdown,
So
South Park.
Back to the 12 here.
Gaps. Big break for North Tonawanda. You don't want to miss tackle. Hepburn's going to keep it himself, makes a man miss, crosses the 10, the 5, touchdown, South Park.
Get free, so it's going to back him up to. Actually, I think we're going to just about replay the down here. It'd be about 2nd down and 7 again from the 12-yard line.
43 seconds remaining on the clock. 2nd down. Ball spotted at the 12.
And we'll see what they come out with here. It looks like North Tonawanda wants to bring a little bit more pressure. You can see him walked up and close to man coverage.
3 receivers set. Hepburn in the shotgun. Handoff to Fulgham on the right side. Cuts it in the middle. Crossing the 5-yard line to the 3.
And you know what? That was a great job, Tony, by their right tackle, Sam Edgade. 5'11", 280 pounds, number 75 in there at the right tackle. He cleared a huge hole, allowed him to bang that ISO play right up inside. And South Park's on the ball. And it looks like they will continue to snap the football quickly here.
3 receivers. Hepburn under center. Handoff. Jackson for the touchdown. South Park. Just like that, the Sparks are in the end zone.
Yeah, and it looked like North Tonawanda, that now they were trying to get to their goal line defense package, and they got there a little bit late. And they did a good job on Jackson here. So South Park's going to take
handoff.
a timeout here to see what they want to draw
Jackson
up.
for the touchdown. Again, as you said, they don't bring the kicking team out. There's no point after. They will go for the 2 every time.
Well, and again, there's a bit of a mathematical thing in here too. So, and Tim Delaney, he draws up some very nice things for his 2-point package. And, you know, we've spoken at length in the past from a coaching standpoint because I wanted to learn a little bit more about what they were doing because they do a really nice job with it. And we will see what he comes out with here. What makes it a little bit different is how quick can that edge pressure from North Tonawanda, because they're going to have 2 free edge rushers on this play. You know that's coming, and it might deter Coach Delaney from taking some of the things that they might want to take and what they normally might go to in their 2-point package off the table. I would expect them to just bang it right up inside and just, you know, let Jackson go and run that tight little ISO play in there.
The key to this, 3 or 4 guys that can carry the ball, and you'd have complete confidence in either one of them.
Unless, do I see them tying a right shoe? Now
I
would
see
be
that.
Okay, I was going to say there's no way that they're tying a straight toe shoe or something.
No.
But here's what you got, though. You got number 2, Marquand Fluid in there. So you're going to see it looks like a double ISO play coming in here. Uh-oh.
Quarterback jump play, incomplete.
Well, like I told you.
Well, the old quarterback jump up and throw it play. Haven't seen that in a long time, but Hepburn's down, by the way.
Yeah, I try to see what we got here if he landed awkwardly on that. I will tell you what, though, it was you know, we just got done saying that Coach Delaney very creative with how he packages his 2-point stuff, and he knows very well what North Tonawanda was bringing on that play. Okay, he knows that there was going to be 2 guys screaming off the edge. He knew that they were going to be in commando defense, and you know, a nice little play. They put Fluid in there and Jackson in there.
He is really struggling to walk right now, Sean.
That would be a major development in the game for South Park to see what they would have to go to on the quarterback situation here. It doesn't.
I don't even see anybody listed as a backup quarterback.
They do not, but you know what? I mean, just direct snapping it to Jackson isn't a
Right.
bad option either. So, you know, right before half, with 10 seconds to go in the half, we'll see what they come up with here. Now, here's the interesting thing, Tony, okay? If South Park tries to squib the ball or pop it up just a little bit, does that give North Tonawanda the ability to take a deep shot to Wisniewski again?
We know we can do it.
And we'll see what the South Park defensive staff is going to come up with.
Rieselman has the arm to do it, the accuracy, and we know Wisniewski has the speed.
Absolutely. So, and again, NT's been doing a pretty good job in pass protection so far. And again, Fluid, he's in there. He's got 1 sack. You know, clearly one of the big sack masters in Western New York. But if they can hold him off for just a little bit, they've done a good job in pass protection. I mean, run protection, obviously, South Park is just doing a phenomenal job of eating away gaps and not getting red and squeezing things down pretty well against the option.
Waiting for the kickoff, and he's going to give it a boom.
Oh, boy.
Oh, evading, still loose. Jackson couldn't handle it. Brought down, or they'll blow it dead at the 6-yard line.
Well, it was a fun idea while it lasted,
Yeah,
so
it
I think
was.
you're in a situation where we're just going to take a knee and get out of half here. And again, a good half for the Lumberjacks. You know, if you're talking to Rick Tom and their coaching staff, Ben Bunker, Ian Gilhousen, Pat Angelhow, all North Tonawanda alumni, and
That's one of the things I love about high school football and high school athletics in general is that you'll get a lot of the guys that graduate, they'll go to college, and then they come back to be an assistant coach like yourself.
yeah, especially in a community like North Tonawanda where football matters and people are really involved up here, and they have the North Tonawanda Hall of Fame. And
Oh, and speaking of North Tonawanda football, I would be remiss if I didn't mention Saturday morning at Strad Field, North Tonawanda Football Association is having a chili fundraiser, and I will be there.
That is got your name written all over it, Tony.
I ordered it. I already put it in. Sean Williams set it aside for me. Says your chili will be ready.
'Tis the season, so.
Almost to halftime. Almost to halftime. That's been like my thing.
Well,
now.
I was going to ask you if you were going to go to Ted's before the game right down the road there, so it would be remiss if I didn't say so.
All right, we're at the half with the score. South Park 20 and North Tonawanda 14. We'll take a break. We'll come back with some halftime talk right here. WNY Athletics.
When it's time to sell your home, start with a visit to howardhanna.com, ranked the #1 real estate site for sellers. A few clicks will show you the sales price you can expect for your home. We can get you the most money in the quickest amount of time because we know where the local buyers are and how to reach them. So if it's time to sell your home, visit howardhanna.com today, and we'll match you with a local Howard Hanna agent to sell your home fast.
I love being home.
300 Level Media is a locally owned and operated multi-purpose media company right here in Western New York. You'll find us everywhere, covering the Bills, Sabres, Buttes, Bisons, Big Four basketball, local college sports, and much more. Our staff offers a variety of media services, from video production, live event coverage, audio broadcasts, professional voiceovers, camera operation, and videography. Visit www.300levelmedia.com or give us a call at 716-427-2600. This is 300 Level Media.
Why do you exercise? To look better? To feel better? To drop a few pounds? To train for an event? To defy age? Or to keep your ability to say yes to the things you love to do? Whatever motivates you, G&G Fitness Equipment is here to get you there. Treadmills, ellipticals, rowers, bikes, home gyms, and accessories. We'll pair you with the right equipment, teach you how to use it, and be there every step of your fitness journey. G&G Fitness. Your goal is our goal.
Call 835-WOLF. Remember, you calling the Wolf. That's all you had to say. Call today.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA, with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics. Call our Buffalo office today for an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs. WNYathletics.com is the premier high school sports website in Western New York, providing the best sports coverage of Section 6 and Monsignor Martin leagues. Check out our page for daily game recaps and late-breaking sports news. Our online scoreboards are updated in real time. Never miss a goal or touchdown. Visit WNYathletics.com today or follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube.
300 Level Media is a locally owned and operated multi-purpose media company right here in Western New York. You'll find us everywhere, covering the Bills, Sabres, Buttes, Bisons, Big Four basketball, local college sports, and much more. Our staff offers a variety of media services, from video production, live event coverage, audio broadcasts, professional voiceovers, camera operation, and videography. Visit www.300levelmedia.com or give us a call at 716-427-2600. This is 300 Level Media.
Why do you exercise? To look better? To feel better? To drop a few pounds? To train for an event? To defy age? Or to keep your ability to say yes to the things you love to do? Whatever motivates you, G&G Fitness Equipment is here to get you there. Treadmills, ellipticals, rowers, bikes, home gyms, and accessories. We'll pair you with the right equipment, teach you how to use it, and be there every step of your fitness journey. G&G Fitness. Your goal is our goal.
Call 835-WOLF. Remember, you calling the Wolf. That's all you had to say. Call today.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics. Call our Buffalo office today for an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs. WNYathletics.com is the premier high school sports website in Western New York, providing the best sports coverage of Section 6 and Monsignor Martin leagues. Check out our page for daily game recaps and late-breaking sports news. Our online scoreboards are updated in real time. Never miss a goal or touchdown. Visit WNYathletics.com today or follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube.
I love being home.
There's nothing better than owning the perfect house to come home to. You've earned it, and we'll make it happen. Our local real estate experts and in-house team of financial professionals make buying or selling your home simple. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.
I love being home.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Western New York Athletics presenting Section 6 high school football. We have North Tonawanda and South Park. We are at halftime here as the South Park Sparks leading the North Tonawanda Lumberjacks 22-14. Sean Brusso along with Tony Caligiuri and Frank Wolf. Frank Wolf joining me here on the halftime show. Frank, your thoughts on the first half? Pretty entertaining first half so far. A lot of big plays from both teams.
How about that first play from scrimmage for South Park? Sean, and we talked about this game, and we thought it could get out of hand early because we weren't sure which North Tonawanda team was going to show up. We've seen what they've been the last few years. They've struggled, and South Park hasn't. South Park has been mauling team after team after team. And the first play from scrimmage, let me see if I'm going to try and say this name right. Fulgham?
Yes, Fulgham.
63 yards on the first play from scrimmage, untouched, and they're up 8-0 before the stands are even filled here. But North Tonawanda responds. Wally Wisniewski, 2 quick throws to the outside. They don't freak out. They don't buckle under the pressure. They end up scoring. Wally is a huge part of that drive, gets the touchdown. There was another play to number 15, the big catch. I believe that was on 3rd down over the middle. That was
the one to Dennis Johnson, number 12.
Yeah, okay,
yes.
Number 12. Yeah, Johnson with the nice catch over the middle to extend that drive. That might have been the key play there to extend it. But then Wisniewski with the touchdown, 8-7. And we got a ball game. It was 14-14. Wisniewski with another touchdown not too long after that. They take the lead. So, I mean, this has just been an unbelievable football game. Now, the Sparks are up 20-14, but this is a lot closer than what we thought it would be when we were talking about this game in our pregame.
Absolutely, and we're going to take a look at some of our halftime stats that are up on your screen here. Again, the score 20-14 for South Park. The big stat here I think that everybody needs to talk about is North Tonawanda 5 rushing yards in the first half. And, again, when you're a triple option team, hard-pressed to find yourself in a tight game when you've only had 5 rushing yards in the first half, and I think that's a testament to the South Park defense has been doing pretty good. North Tonawanda 119 yards through the air, and a majority of them, again, to Wally Wisniewski. South Park, quite the opposite story, only 45 through the air, but 183 on the ground, and having about 100 yards more of total offense than North Tonawanda. So the one thing, though, Frank, for you, and I think everybody's going to be a little bit cautious of is what's the health going to be of South Park quarterback Michael Hepburn, because he looked very limpy at the end of the first half there.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen him come back onto the field. He seemed like he's looks like he's gotten better.
Okay.
It looks like he's going to play. I didn't see any trouble him walking back onto the field. I want to go back to that second NT drive because they had that big touchdown to Wally Wisniewski. I think it was like a 60 or 70 yarder called back.
Yes.
For illegal motion or offsides. A team that's struggling would probably not respond the way they did. How did they respond? They went right back to Wisniewski, 50 yards downfield, completion. They get inside the 6-yard line, and just a couple plays later, they're in the end zone for a score. This is not the same North Tonawanda team that we've seen year after year. This is a much improved team. I love what Rick Tom has been able to do with these guys.
Yeah, and I mean, again, Rick being one of my mentors, obviously, and was a longtime defensive coordinator when North Tonawanda was a powerhouse back in the 2000s there. You know, he slowly but surely knew it was going to be a long rebuild, and they're starting to kind of get that leadership aspect that's kind of evolving, because they've had that lacking for a period of time, and now they're kind of starting to get settled back in and, you know, build the way that they want to build the program. As, you know, they'd been through, you know, the previous couple of years. Or Henry Fumarelli, they had some success. They got through to the playoffs when Henry was there, did a good job of building it a little bit differently. And it's hard because he wasn't in the building. So the program went through some tough years earlier in the decade, and some really, really tough years. And, you know, now he's kind of back in charge here, and he has alumni in the staff, and they're trying to rejuvenate the program. And as you can see, it is a different team from last year, because they really struggled to essentially get any stops last year. It was actually quite painful to watch. Now they're actually kind of getting to the football. They're doing some good things defensively, and at the same time, too, just in a dogfight right now with a really outstanding football team.
It's that Wisniewski factor.
Yeah.
That's what it is. I mean, they didn't have Wally last year. He's one of the premier athletes in Section 6, and the way he's played today, I mean, we saw that at St. Joe's last year. He was doing that against Canisius.
Yes.
So we know he's got all high school talent out there. He's going to Brockport, I believe, in the fall.
He is.
To continue his football career. A hell of an athlete, and he's showing it on the field today. This game is 20-14. It's a close game, in large part because of what Wally's been able to do for this team.
And an actual little side note here, Wally Wisniewski going to Brockport, where current wide receivers coach Ian Gilhausen, who was another multi-sport athlete at North Tonawanda, phenomenal athlete, played his collegiate career at Brockport for Jason Mangoni. So I want to thank a little tidbit that got sent via the text in him on that one from Coach Mountain, basketball coach here at North Tonawanda. So, and you can see the dynamic athlete that Brockport's getting in Wally. They're getting something pretty special there too. And in addition to it, Keith Jackson's going to Brockport too, the running back from South Park. So two of the elite talents on this field are staying close to home, going a short distance down I-90 there.
And we've praised Rick Tom, what he's been able to do, but we're talking about also Tim Delaney. That's a state championship coach over there. He's been in positions like this before. He wasn't born yesterday. I know we're getting ready for that second half kickoff, but you got to commend the job.
He's a fellow Harvard Cup Hall of Famer. Just to throw
that is right. Tony being a Harvard Cup Hall of Famer himself here. So,
but you got to give it up for Delaney. I mean, he's got that team under control. He's not going to let them freak out. You know, they're still in control of this game. They have the lead right now. They're playing with the lead. Flewett's been a beast on the line, on the defensive side of the ball. Jackson's still running good. Fulgham's doing great. Hepburn's. He's had wide open targets. He hasn't necessarily hit them. So it was interesting to see, not so interesting to see them return to the ground and pound game on that last drive. They ate a ton of time off the clock on that final drive to finally take the lead.
Well, we talked about, too, in Hepburn and the lack of chemistry with him and his receivers and how that's going to take time to build. I'm going to be really interested to watch this South Park team play again in Week 5. I think you're going to see a different South Park team. They're going to continue to build and get better week after week after week, provided they stay healthy. And staying healthy isn't just a matter of, you know, tweaks and ankles and hamstrings anymore. Now we got to stay healthy from, you know, from a COVID standpoint too. So, you know, it's a very, very fluid situation, you know, amongst Western New York football now. And, you know, like I said, I talked to, again, longtime North Tonawanda coach Eric Jancy last Friday before our game. We played Bennett, and he was like, well, you know, you nervous or anything? And I said, yeah, honestly, the most nervous thing I'm going to get is a phone call that we're not going to get on the bus. I'll feel better once we get to All High Stadium to go play. So
yeah, once there's kickoff.
Yeah, so.
You know, then we could then we could relax
We could get settled back in there, yeah. So.
Just those halftime scores from around Section 6. Frontier out 28-0. They lead. Hutch Tech, Western New York Maritime Health Sciences lead Maryvale 36-0. Tomorrow night, coming up on WNY Athletics, we have Will South at Amherst, Pioneer at Burgard, McKinley at Niagara Wheatfield, and then on Saturday, Sweet Home at Williamsville East. Jamestown is up in the North Towns. They take on Grand Island. Sunday, we have games on Sunday. JFK versus Lackawanna, West Seneca East at Iroquois, and then Monday, Alden versus Gowanda, and St. Joe's at St. Francis on Monday. I'll turn it back over to you guys for the second half.
Very fluid situation, as we just talked about with the Western New York football schedule right now. So
Absolutely. All right, we're underway for the second half. Kick is short. Fielded at the 25. Brought about the 37-yard line. I think that's where they will mark it.
And
One of the up and number 56 for North Tonawanda with the return.
Colin Rozicki.
Yes.
Got to brush up on our old Polish terms there, Tony. We've talked about that. That's an old throwback joke
I would
way
have
back
to
in the
get
day.
the old country pronunciation from Roger.
Where is Roger Weiss when you need him? So
He's at some concession stand eating. I guarantee it.
So-
Book it.
So North Tonawanda to start the second half here. Let's see what they come out with offensively. And
All the concessions are closed, Tony. No
Then he
concession
snuck
stands
out.
open. He
Then
is
he
in trouble.
snuck out.
he figured out a way to. He figured out a
He
way.
brought a bag of something in.
1st and 10 for North Tonawanda. Under center. We have an end in motion. Fakes the handoff. It's going to be a keeper by Rieselman. And maybe 3 or 4 on the carry. We'll see where they mark it.
So take a look at that South Park front. You don't see fluid out there, so you don't know if that's something where maybe that hamstring has been creeping back up a little bit. But that could be a huge development here. But I think Coach Delaney is very confident in the depth they have in their defensive front, being able to get some guys in there.
2nd down and 7 for North Tonawanda.
Freezing the play here, so.
Back under center. Rieselman looking over the South Park defense.
They're going to have to get this off here. They might run out of time.
End in motion. Fakes the handoff. Quarterback keeper up the left side. That's going to be good enough for North Tonawanda. 1st down.
Yeah, they just ran a triple option play, the old outside veer going into the boundary here. They followed the tight end. They were able to double the 3 technique down, and nice little play into the boundary here. So, again, getting that first down on a drive is so critical, Tony. And I'll tell you what, like, if you could just get some momentum going and you could just kind of it allows you to just ease into it. You don't go 3 and out. It allows you to kind of go deeper into your play bank a little bit. So, and again, establish it on the ground.
Take over. Right.
Yeah, establish it on the ground, which is something that the Lumberjacks have had a lot of trouble doing so far early in the game.
1st and 10 for the Jacks. Rieselman under center. Quick throw to Wisniewski on the left side. Quick bubbles pass. And he crosses the 50. Mark him down at the 49.
I think that there's a flag on the
down.
play.
Yep. On 40.
Yeah, I think this will go against South Park. I think they were trying to set up a double pass there. And you're going to have a South Park personal foul, which is going to back them up another 15 yards. I think they were going to try to set up a double pass on that play.
Really?
Well, Wally Wisniewski also used to be a quarterback when he was younger in the North Tonawanda program, so he can throw it too, in addition to pretty much anything else on the field that he could do. So, in any event, you're going to get another 15, but I was pretty sure that was going to be a double pass that was coming.
That's not a play you see too often.
No, I love it. It's a good one if you can make sure you block the perimeter. I think they were trying to sneak Johnson out late, and he got taken down. So
1st and 10, North Tonawanda. Ball spotted on the 33-yard line. Rieselman under center. Fakes the handoff. Pitches it to the left side. And not much there for Aiden Pless.
Yeah, so the first time we saw him pull and pitch, the other aspect of the triple option there, but nobody was able to block the corner on that one. A good job from South Park, the outside linebacker, setting the edge in there. And you can kind of widen your guys out a little bit because they've had so much success on the interior controlling the line. So they didn't have anybody to account for the cornerback on that play because the outside linebacker was able to sit there and play a little bit lower. So
Rieselman under center, freezing the play.
Probably a run into the boundary.
Handoff to the right side, up the middle. Kind of went off the center guard gap, or guard's tackle gap, nothing there.
Yeah.
South Park is just so strong in closing the gaps.
And they were running that midline option there again. So now you got 2 plays, and let's see again. I think you got to figure out a way to get the ball into Wisniewski's hands. For sure. A lot of time in the huddle for the Lumberjacks.
Well, you're going to see, a little bit of, rusting in as far as getting your plays in, getting out. There's going to be some bumps and bruises.
They got 5 seconds on the play clock. They need to take a timeout here. I don't know if they see it.
You should call it now.
They've just missed it, yeah.
Yep, delay a game. So that'll move North Tonawanda back 5. Sean, let me ask you this. In a game like, you're a close game, and, again, we're in uncharted waters with what went on with the pandemic and all, but conditioning. How much is conditioning going to play a factor in a close game in the second half?
Oh, it's going to be huge. I mean, you have to be able to play a full football game. Like, you can run all the sprints you want, but until you actually are conditioned to play a football game, it's going to be very difficult. And I think every team around Western New York is kind of dealing with the same things. We took a different approach at Lancaster for it. I'll get into that later.
Shotgun, back to pass. Rieselman pumps, throws it up the left side, and the ball is batted down. Looked like number 6 for South Park, Mike Pajak, breaking up that pass play.
Yeah, and it was very good pressure. Demarie Johnson got in there from South Park there on the pressure and did a really, really nice job. So it's going to bring up a 4th down and long for the Lumberjacks here. See what they're going to do, if they're going to try to punt the ball away or if they're going to go for it.
Now, you were saying that you guys did something different at Lancaster this year.
Yeah, so we're fully 2-platooning our roster. Now, we're in a position where we have enough varsity coaches that we can do it, and we have enough varsity kids that we can do it, but we're having guys that are committed to playing just one side of the ball, and, it's had great returns because we physically wore Bennett down in the 4th quarter last week because we just had guys that were fresher because we didn't have any two-way guys.
Rieselman back to pass up the right side, going deep, and incomplete.
Order last week because we just had guys that were fresher because we didn't have any two-way guys.
Like Rieselman back to pass up the right side, going deep. Carson Wheeler, maybe?
I think the intended receiver was Plus.
Yeah.
They were looking for Aiden Plus up the right side there. Wisniewski was covered up pretty good down here on the left side, the bottom of your screen. So
Unti will turn it over on downs.
Yeah, a big stop from the Sparks here, and again now they need to get a little bit more momentum going.
And we'll see a little bit more about the ankle of Hepburn and how he fared. Don't forget, before the half he was limping off. Hand off to the left side to Fulgham. Not much there. In fact, it looks like he lost a yard.
Yeah, that's Wally Wisniewski, and if you're a free safety around Western New York and you're trying to figure out how to play that middle of the field closed position, and you want to talk about again running the alley and fitting the run properly, that was as good as it gets from Wally Wisniewski. Reading your keys, coming downhill, taking the right angle, tracking the hip of the running back, making sure you don't over-pursue so he can cut back underneath you and make the play.
Hepburn has shotgun. Hand off to the right side. That's Jackson, and he is brought down from behind by guess who? Wisniewski.
Yeah, and I mean he is very clearly, again, one of the best football players in Western New York. And both coaching staffs acknowledge that. When I talked to Rick Tom and I talked to Tim Delaney, both of them said that kid is a dude. Well,
he's special.
Well, Rick Tom didn't say he was a dude because he yells at me every time I say the word dude. He hates that word, but because he says it's so overused. But Wally Wisniewski is a dude.
Does that mean he doesn't watch Dude Perfect?
I don't think he does. He's more of a Breaking Bad guy, I think.
All right. 3rd down and 5 for the Sparks. Shotgun. Hepburn. Back to pass. Here comes the rush. Throws it up the left side. He's got a man. Incomplete, but they're going to get a pass interference on that play.
Yeah, and it looked like Swan kind of got turned around there.
3rd down and 5 for the Sparks.
Could tell
Shotgun.
the number correctly.
Hepburn. Back to pass. Here comes the rush.
Field here. You can
Throws
take
it
a look
up
at
the
the
left
replay
side.
here and just.
He's got a man. Incomplete.
Yeah, kind of lost phase there and was trying to get into recovery mode. And, yeah, it was Anthony Swan in coverage there. So South Park taking a shot. They're going to get a free 15 and a 1st and 10 with 6:04 to go here in the 3rd quarter.
So what are they? Spotting the ball down. We're at the 43.
Yeah, 15 yards from the – I'm sorry, not 15 from the spot, 15 from the previous possession point.
Shotgun. Handoff. Jackson up the middle. Stuffed in the gap. Nowhere to go.
Great fill. Great fill from the North Tonawanda linebackers and trying to get again, numbers in there. It looks like number 75, the defensive lineman, is in on the play, Matt Willard. And again, this North Tonawanda defense, a 3-3 stack, something completely different and something Tim Delaney talked about too. Said we prepare for Starpoint, who's a 40 front. You know, they play with 4 down linemen. And now you got to go against NT, who's got a 3-3 stack and brings pressure from everywhere and not have any time to really work on it.
The 3-3 stack is one of those trendy defenses that's hot right now.
Yeah, and again, you got to come up with answers to defend the spread offenses now. And honestly, if you want my personal opinion, a 4-3 defense is obsolete and a waste of time against the spread offense. That's just my opinion. You know, I think it's clunky and it doesn't get enough good athletes on the field.
That's when you're talking about getting to the high school level.
Yeah, I think that's all trickling down to our level now, and I think you need to start seeing some more, some more odd fronts and some more ways to get everybody covered up and play a too-high safety shell. And I believe
about a 6-yard carry on that play. We're going to have about second down and 3 for the Sparks.
Yeah, so when you have 3 linebackers and 3 down linemen, and they're all stacked up, you got to figure out which gap they're going to go to. You're going to figure out how they're going to blitz because they're not going to bring.
Disguise a lot that way.
Yeah, they're not going to bring 3 guys. They're usually going to bring 5. It's just what 5 are they going to come from?
Exactly. Here comes a blitz from North Tonawanda, but Hepburn throws it up the left side into the end zone, in and out of the hands of the receiver, incomplete.
5.
Well,
it's just
they wanted to pick
what
on.
5 are they going to come
going right
from?
back
so
there.
Again, at number 22, Anthony Swan.
Here comes a blitz from North Tonawanda,
And
Hepburn throws it up the
did
left
a
side
pretty good
into
job
the
of
end.
staying in coverage and in phase on that last play, where he could make a play on the ball. But he was giving up a little bit length there too. Hepburn put it in an area where it was just out of reach. So now it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 3, and I think you're going to see a nice little healthy dosage of Mr. Jackson off tackle here.
Shotgun, waiting for the snap. Handoff, up the middle, bounces it to the right side. Jackson for about, I think he got the first.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to have it by a yard there. Wisniewski came down on the tackle again.
I like what South Park does, Sean, is when they get through the hole, their backs have such nice vision where they can bounce it to the outside or bounce it back inside.
Slow to, fast through, and that's kind of the coaching points for the running backs in that situation. Slow to the hole, fast through the hole. And they do a really good job of setting up for each other and waiting for their blocks to develop. That's just a little off-tackle ISO scheme where they're trying to dig out a linebacker with their next level, and we're going to get a timeout here from
North Tonawanda.
North Tonawanda. Rick Tom wants to talk about something with his defense here. So, I mean, they're hanging in there tough. And, again, I think if the odds makers in Western New York, if there were any hypothetical odds makers in Western New York, would have probably had this game a little bit different in the spread coming into this thing. But NT has done a really nice job of kind of hanging tough. And South Park's been playing gritty, too. You could see that Fluid is, hasn't been out there very much, and he hasn't been out there in the second half. And, maybe that hamstring is kind of tightening up on him a little bit. And that's something when I talked to Coach Delaney, before we were really going, and he said, it was the fear of, I think, of a lot more coaches in Western New York, in addition to the piles of things, and you're playing in such a unique situation, and you talked about the conditioning, was all those ticky-tacky injuries that you may not get if you had a full summer to prepare, and you're out there. And there's something to be said for physically actually running, okay? And when you actually run and you're sprinting, it's different on your body. And it doesn't have to be 100% sprint, but an 80% hard sprint, hard running, not very easy to do on the slippery roads of Buffalo in February.
Right. And I was talking to Jancy before the game about muscle memory and how important that is for football players.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you're seeing a lot of those knick-knack injuries kind of popping up for, I think, probably just about every team in Western New York.
Shotgun for Hepburn. Fakes the handoff, throwing it up the left side again into the end zone. Incomplete. Looked like he had it for a second, but The ball squirted
just about
out
every
into
team
the
in
end
Western
zone,
New York.
the sidelines.
Yeah, they're just taking deep
Shotgun
shots
for
and
Hepburn, fakes
keep
the
going
handoff,
at
throwing it up the left side
Swan
again
over
into
there in
the
the
end
corner. He's
zone.
doing a good job
Incomplete.
of hey,
Looked like he had a
hold tough, and they've got him isolated in one-on-one coverage, and they got a guy at him, and they're picking on him with Amar Polk. And again, if you're looking at the matchup here, the tail of the tape, one-on-one, 6 foot, 165. And he's going up against 5'6", 140. So there's a little bit.
Yeah, big difference in size. Handoff up the middle. Short gain.
So
Couldn't tell who carried it. If that
Jackson.
was Jackson.
Yeah, Jackson got out right up the middle here. So NT's bringing in the big dogs here.
And that's one thing I noticed. North Tonawanda has been shuffling players in and out almost every single play.
Well, that's one of the staples, honestly, of the Rick Tom defense, and I run his defensive system myself, so I'm very well versed in it. And a lot of it too is just making sure that you have a lot of guys playing, fresh legs, different personnel groupings, match personnel, and that's something that we learned at a very, very young age. At least I did.
Here comes the blitz. Hepburn trying to roll out, lost his footing, and he's going to lose yardage. Brought down at about
Very
the
young
18.
age, at least I did.
Here comes the blitz.
And
Perfectly
Hepburn
timed, trying to
blitz
roll
on the
out,
left side.
lost his footing,
And I think
he's going to lose. He's cramping up.
Yeah, I mean, he's been all over the place here. So that's not a good deal for North Tonawanda because that's going to take him off the field on 4th down here, and you're going to be in a 4th down and 17 situation. And when you got your best player who's got to come off the field, did a great job of getting to the backfield and making that play. South Park tried to run a little boot pass and try to set it up.
I'm sure Coach Delaney will be going into the bag of tricks for this next play. With 4th down,
So
2:43 remaining in the quarter. Once again, South Park 20, North Tonawanda 14 in this Class A Section 6 matchup. North Tonawanda High School, home of the Lumberjacks. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll have more action. WNY Athletics.
I love being home.
With exclusive buyer insights and our 100% money-back guarantee, we're confident we'll find buyers for your home. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.
First time COVID pause.
When was that for? Tomorrow?
Sorry, Timmy. Will South Amherst on pause.
South Park now facing 4th and long at the 18-yard line.
And we're back. South Park with the ball. Oh, we got another timeout. Each team's going to take turns with timeout. Frank Wolf just informing us that Will South Amherst?
yes,
Will South Amherst game that was scheduled for tomorrow has been put on pause due to COVID.
well, that is the fluid situation we were talking about. So, anything can change. I mean, when people ask, it's funny, my athletic director, and you know Brian Wild really well at Lancaster, and
Sure do.
he sits there and he says, well, as of 8:36 on Thursday, April 8th, we are playing football tomorrow, so we know that could change at any minute. And honestly,
We're doing 1 hour announcements over this.
and for real, but when we talk about it with our kids, it's like, look, you can't take anything for granted because it could be gone like that, and you have to make sure that you're really doing everything the right way because that could creep up and get you at any given moment. It could derail your season because you're paused for 10 days. Now, whether you agree with that or don't, I mean, that's beside the point. I believe we're the only county in Western New York doing that. That is what it is. But, we're, just you be blessed for what you have and don't complain about what you don't. And,
Try to stay positive.
Try to stay positive and get through.
Shotgun, 4th down. Rolling out to his right.
Throwback.
Hepburn, thrown back far to the left. He's got a man open. Touchdown. Safety couldn't get over there quite fast enough, and you talk about taking advantage of Wisniewski being off. There you have it.
Yeah, and that's a throwback play, and that is one of the plays that throwback.
Hepburn,
Tim
thrown back
Delaney is
far
in
to
his
the left. He's got a man open.
that's in his staple. That's in his
Touchdown.
repertoire, and They hit it on that play. And, again, that could be completely attributed to the loss of Wisniewski, from that previous play out with the cramping issue.
Whoever was covering, he wasn't only off by much, maybe a step. Wisniewski may have been the difference because of his speed. Waiting for the 2-point conversion. Hepburn back to pass. Out of the shotgun. Throws it to the left side. Incomplete.
Still trying to hammer that fade route.
Down. Rolling out to his right.
Throw back.
Thrown back far to the left. He's got a man open. Touchdown. Couldn't quite get there fast enough.
Yeah.
Jackson was close.
Yeah, and that was, a great play against man coverage, but if you don't have a safety that can get over and if your corner kind of bites down a little bit, you can kind of draw that up really nicely there. So it was a great play call out of the timeout by Coach Delaney. I don't know if he wanted that before the timeout, but in any event, moves the Sparks lead up to 12.
Now you want, if you're a North Tonawanda fan, if you're a North Tonawanda coach or player, you want to make something happen soon. You don't want to fall too far behind.
Well, they have to figure out a way to get the ball in Wisniewski's hands.
Yes.
Okay, and the triple option is nice, but you can move him to slot back. You could do some different things, but they need to figure out a way to move around Wally to get him the football because he's been their source of offense. And again, here's the thing about the triple option too. When you're running out of a double slot formation or a flex bone formation, you can use those slot guys very effectively in the passing game. And I know they have the stuff in because, well, I know their offense. But, it's just a matter of how are they going to move around Wisniewski to get him the ball at this point of the game because, again, you got to think players, not plays.
Short kickoff again for South Park. Fielded and downed at the 30.
And that was, that's something that's been ingrained in my head from a long time ago. First head coach I worked for, my coaching better was Bob Mullen. Think players, not plays. So certainly, and that's something that still holds true. And it doesn't matter. You can run the most glamorous spread offense in the world. That's sexy, and you're spreading guys out, and you're going really fast, and you're RPO, and you can run the double wing, and it's archaic and just a mess of an offense, but it works if you run it right. But it's still about getting the right guys the ball.
Coach told me once, he says, Tony, it's not about the X's and O's, it's the Jimmies and the Joes.
Absolutely, and it holds true.
1st and 10 for North Tonawanda. Fake the handoff. Option, a little bit behind the back. That's going to be a turnover. It looks like South Park has it.
No, they got Rieselman. What a great job to get back on the ball.
He was fighting for it. He and the handoff option, a little bit behind the back. That's going to be a turnover. It looks like South Park has it.
Young quarterback, triple option. And those are things that can go wrong, and it's not always smooth sailing when you're running the triple option. Okay, but and again, now you're in a tough situation where you're going backwards.
Ball spotted on the 22-yard line. Yeah, 2nd down and 18. Not exactly the ideal situation for the Lumberjacks.
Got Wisniewski down here into the boundary one-on-one.
Rieselman under center. Hands off on the reverse to Jackson. And stuffed. Maybe 3 or 4 yards on that carry.
Yeah, what a great job, and just the discipline of the South Park linebackers, and just a little counter play on the inside, and did a really, really nice job of just bottling that up. So now you're in a 3rd down and long situation, and you're not in 4-down territory, so you have to come up with something, and everybody on the field knows where the ball is going to go to, so you've got to have an answer for what South Park is about to do. If I'm South Park, I'm going to bring a lot of pressure and try to get the ball out of the sophomore's hands really quickly.
I also might think about doubling Wisniewski.
Yeah, and absolutely. North Tonawanda is going to take a timeout they had, and that's their 2nd timeout, and that's not a good situation. They had 12 on the field, and they couldn't get their sub off the field fast enough.
And again, because you're not out in the field, it's not constant repetition. You've done a lot of this stuff through Zoom meetings and chalk talk and that sort of thing. You haven't been on the field executing, so you're going to expect this kind of mistakes where confusion, who's supposed to be in, who's supposed to be out.
Certainly, and we're going to have to see what Coach Bunker wants to come up with here on the 3rd down situation. And again, they've been good in these situations to a point so far today. They got to see if they got one more in them right now, because this is starting to become a critical juncture of the game as South Park pretty much has control of the game. And when I talk about control of the game, Tony, I talk about, are you able to run the ball? Are you able to stop the run? And are you able to cover kicks? And South Park's got all 3 boxes checked right now. So they are in control of the game. It doesn't necessarily lead to wins, but it means you are in control.
You're doing things right
to win the game. And they're starting to kind of gash them a little bit with some big chunk plays and hit their explosives, too, on top of that. And that's where you start putting together your wins.
3rd down and 14 for North Tonawanda. Ball spotted on the 26-yard line. 48 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Rieselman. Shotgun. Back to pass. Flags down. Throws it over the middle. Incomplete. Pass intended for Johnson. Incomplete.
And I believe the flag's on the field. I think you're going to have an illegal formation on the Lumberjacks. We'll see what Mr. Drobitz has to say. Yep, illegal formation on the Lumberjacks. So that should be declined, and South Park will force the Lumberjacks to punt here. Down to 42 seconds to go here in the 3rd quarter. So tough on that drive, and again, now you're really starting to hit a critical juncture of the game, because North Tonawanda has struggled to consistently move the football.
I think that's the key word right there,
Consistency, yeah. And now you're going to be in that situation where it could turn into a 3-score game, and you only have 1 timeout. So when you're starting to get to those critical junctures, even if you do get 2 scores, by the time you get the ball for that 3rd possession, it's going to be really, really hard, and the clock's going to start to become a factor.
Snap gets through, passes the punter. Punter's able to get it off. Great job there by Nick Chandra. The snap went through his legs. Had enough composure to be able to go back, get the ball, and get the punt off. It'll be blown dead. Snap gets through, passes the punter. Punter's able to get it off. Great job there.
Player down here
by Nick Chandra.
2 of them possibly.
Well, no, one's a shoot. Pass with the tiny shoes.
Looks like a little cramping issue again from North Tonawanda, and that is Justin Van Valkenburg.
He doesn't want to come off if he's trying to shake it off himself. And he's going to have to sit down.
Yep, got a little water in you, and on such a warm night too. I mean, that was bound to happen at some point. You know, one could only speculate to what's going on injury-wise, but recurring theme with being such a warm and not overly humid, but, you know, definitely a warmer day and a warmer night that, you know, if you're an athlete, it's not anymore. You can't just start drinking water on the day before a game.
No. I always tell my players 2 days before.
It's just a continuous process here. They're on him.
Hepburn back to pass. He's rolling out, scrambling now to his left, throws it off balance. He's got a man wide open. Jackson. He's going to walk into the end zone for an easy South Park touchdown. Scrambling now to his left, throws it off balance. He's got a man wide open.
Here.
Jackson. He's going to walk into the end zone for
They're going to throw flags here on the NT sideline, and they're not. I think Rick Tom's got a point here, because you had a peel back block from South Park and the quarterback beyond the line of scrimmage when he threw it.
The officials and NT coaching staff very animated on the sidelines.
Yeah, so
they'll have to sort this one out. Many flags on the field, like everybody was throwing.
So I think Rick's got a point here. It depends on how the thing's interpreted, but
well, obviously officials did not see it, and as you said, Rick knows what he saw.
Yeah, and it was a blindside block. And again, the problem is it was in close proximity, and it reminded me of the play that, you know, it was the Houston Texans game in the playoff game with the Bills, where it was like, man, it was such a ticky-tacky call, but it was the rule.
Right.
You know, so I don't understand what it's being interpreted. You know, John Drobitz is one of the better officials in Western New York, so clearly he had a visual sight line on it. But it'll be interesting to see how that was interpreted.
So South Park going for 2. Hepburn back to pass. Rolling out under pressure. Throws off balance. Incomplete.
He tried to Patty Mahomes sling
Yes,
that
he
one
did.
in their sidearm in there.
Yes, he did.
So
11 seconds remaining in the third quarter. South Park 32. North Tonawanda 14. Is it panic time now if you're the Lumberjacks?
I don't want to say it's panic time, but you're certainly really facing an uphill battle here in the fourth quarter. You know, it doesn't look like a lot's kind of going your way right now, and you know, I think you just got to kind of keep your guys focused and, hey, let's just move on and get playing the next play. Put that behind us. Okay, obviously a lot of things went wrong on that play. South Park, I think, is going to kick off from the NT side of things. And I'm not sure if they picked up the flag or – usually you don't see an official bark back at a coach. No. So
and we were all fixated up here in the booth while looking like, wow.
Yeah. And they didn't throw 15 on him. So, you know, they only gave him a sideline warning on NT apparently. So they will kick off.
Another squib kick. Takes a bounce at the 20. Being brought back up the left side. Breaking a room. Crossing the 50-yard line. Nick Chandra with the return for North Tonawanda. Nice kickoff return.
Chandra, a pretty good athlete. You saw him on that last punt there, doing a good job of settling it down. He is a soccer player, and that's one of the other things you're seeing too is the emergence of good kickers in Western New York and punters, because you don't have to worry about playing soccer. You know, so you could play both. Our kicker at Lancaster is a converted soccer kid. So. You know, we have another kid on our team who's the same. So, kind of an interesting factor there. So, it's the way it is in a lot of other states, you know, where they put a precedent on football. But,
right.
You know, it's obviously a little bit tough because we have lacrosse up here in New York. So now you're starting to overbleed too many male sports. So, soccer stays in the fall.
Rieselman, the shotgun, quick pass to Johnson on the left side, crosses the 50. Not enough for a first. And that will end the third quarter. South Park 32, North Tonawanda 14. We'll take a break. We'll be back after this.
I love being home.
There's nothing better than owning the perfect house to come home to. You've earned it, and we'll make it happen. Our local real estate experts and in-house team of financial professionals make buying or selling your home simple. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.
I love being home.
We're back for the fourth quarter. South Park 32, North Tonawanda 14. Tomorrow night, WNY Athletics, I will be teaming up with Mr. Tom Prince, Pioneer visiting Burgard, game at Riverside. What is the situation now for fans wanting to go to a game in Buffalo? Is it pretty much the same here or no fans?
So these situations are all district by district. Some districts are allowing visiting fans. Other districts are not. I do not believe the city of Buffalo at this current time is allowing visiting fans. They did not to us last week.
Okay.
It was actually funny because we were playing it all high. Some of our fans, they all got in the roofs of their trucks and watched the game from the north end zone in the parking lot. And we were all beeping their horns when somebody scored. So that was pretty cool too. But I do not believe the city of Buffalo is allowing visiting fans in at this time. So if you are down from the Sardinia area, in the greater Yorkshire, Chaffee areas,
Yorkshire,
this is the place to be. Hearing my man Tony and Tom Prince on WNY Athletics.
We're so lucky to have the ability to do this, especially considering everybody is shut down.
Absolutely.
Rieselman in the shotgun, back to pass. Oh, he's hit hard. Loose ball comes out. And South Park has recovered.
Yeah, they dialed up a 6-man pressure there. They brought both middle linebackers on that play, and Chandra didn't even get a chance. Absolutely. Didn't even get a chance to
Rieselman in the
recover.
shotgun.
And
Back
South
to
Park's
pass.
taking over.
Oh, he's hit hard.
That,
Loose ball comes
that
out.
very well might be the dagger in the hearts of the Lumberjacks for tonight.
Sure. Rieselman took a hard hit on that one.
Yeah, they dialed up a pretty heavy pressure. They brought 6, and there was a big protection breakdown in North Tonawanda, who's been pretty good in the pass protection game so far. So
right.
South Park looking to put the dagger in. For North Tonawanda, the word is pride. All right, finish the next 11 minutes and 53 seconds and get through this thing here and continue to build on the fact that you played a tough game, you played a scrappy game against, probably one of the perennial favorites to win Class A this year. So you need to hang your hats on that one, but you need to battle it out the next 11 minutes and 53 seconds.
Yeah, you got to build on that. North Tonawanda's lined up off sides. Surprised they did not throw a flag on the play. One of the tackles was lined up in the neutral zone. Meanwhile, South Park on a reverse, bringing it around, and a fumble. I don't know if he stepped out of bounds, but they're going to say he was down.
He was down
as
there.
he crossed the 30.
South Park starting to get
did not throw a
some
flag
different
on the
bodies
play.
in the
One
game,
of
some fresh legs. That was
tackles
Isaiah
lined up in the
Kelly,
neutral
number
zone.
27 on the
Meanwhile,
reception,
South Park
junior,
on a reverse,
6 foot, 180
bringing it
pounder. So clock moving here for South Park, and they can probably
see less passing at this point.
Yeah, I mean, keep the ball on the ground here and get out healthy at this point.
Low snap, Hepburn is going to keep it himself. Went up the middle, then bounced it to the left side, breaks a tackle, stumbles as he crossed the 15-yard line to the 14, where he low snap, Hepburn, where the ball is going to keep it himself. Went up the middle,
And
then
Wisniewski
bounced it to the
close
left
in on the
side,
tackle
breaks a
again there.
tackle.
Not able to make it there. A little slow to get up, but, I mean, you want to talk about a kid that's played his heart out so far?
No quitting him.
Absolutely not. And again, that's the culture that Rick Tom and his staff has tried to instill in the kids, and they talk about pride all the time. Perseverance, respect, integrity, discipline, and enthusiasm. I still remember that from 2011. So, that's something that obviously that they're probably hammering on the sidelines right now.
Hepburn in the shotgun, hands off to Jackson on the right side, crosses the 10, the 5, down close to the goal line. Didn't get in. North Tonawanda was able to stop him.
Probably hammering on the sidelines right now.
Goal for the Sparks.
Yeah, they lost that edge on that side there, and it looked like that they were going to try to bring some pressure, but they got hooked on that edge and was able to get wide and outside. So North Tonawanda trying to get the goal line out here before South Park snaps the football.
Handoff. We must have had a whistle blown dead before the play. Timeout by North Tonawanda.
Yeah, they didn't get their guys out there. South Park went fast. And that's something that you could see Coach Delaney's been trying to do, knowing that Rick Tom at North Tonawanda wants to sub personnel. That chess match that we were talking about in coaching, that's what you just saw there. South Park, we're going to try to gas it up and get on the football. NT's trying to get guys running in and off the field, and you're forced to take a timeout, which is the Lumberjacks' final timeout of the game.
10:25 left in the game. South Park looking to build on a 32-14 lead in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and again, a very gritty effort from South Park here. Dominated on the line of scrimmage, I think, and that obviously was the determining factor of the game here today. As they're about to put this one here, and if they score in here on this drive, 1st and goal from the 1, odds are certainly in their favor. That's putting them up here in 4-score territory, and you could kind of ride your way out of here with a victory and move to 2-0 on the season, provided complete chaos doesn't occur.
Waiting for the 2-point conversion. Hepburn runs primarily out of the shotgun. 2 backs in the backfield. Quick handoff up the middle to Jackson. And no, they're not giving it to him.
Be just short here, so it'll bring up 2nd down. So the NT defense. And again, this is a stop that if they can pull this off here, will go very well for.
Same play. This time he's in the end zone. Jackson with the touchdown for South Park. Surprising me, though, going no huddle.
Yeah, and I mean, when you go no huddle, it could create a lot of issues for your defense, and it's really a great, it's really a great asset if you can do it the right way.
Sure.
And you could stress out defensive coordinators, and you can really stress out defensive players, and we do it at Lancaster. We do it a multitude of different ways, because you don't want to just be one tempo. Because teams that's easy on defenses to get figured out. When you start going multiple tempos and varying things a little bit, that's where things start to become a little bit stressful.
Hepburn with the pass to the end zone, overthrown, incomplete. 38-14 is our score. If you're looking, you look around at in Class A right now, besides South Park, who would you say
Well, okay,
might give them a little run?
Well, in the South Division, you have Jamestown, and Jamestown is
which, by the way, I'm still not used to Jamestown in A.
I know I'll tell you what. So they were in AA last year, and they went 7-2. We at Lancaster beat them in the semifinals to advance to the championship at the stadium against Orchard Park. They had 32 guys on their roster last year. 25 of them were underclassmen. Okay, they pretty much have their whole team back. They got Trey Drake, who's a great quarterback. They got Jalen Butera, who's
is he the son of Ben Drake?
Yes. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
cool.
Ben's son. He's a sophomore quarterback.
Cool.
He played quarterback as a freshman back in 2019. They have Jalen Butera, who's a running back for them. They have some awesome players. Tonawanda Zickel. They have some really awesome players at Jamestown. They got their whole team back. Yeah. And obviously Tommy Langworthy and his staff, they do a phenomenal job. So everybody's kind of, without being the prognosticators, saying, hey, the quote-unquote favorites are South Park and Jamestown.
Okay.
Williamsville South might have something to say about that.
Sure.
I think Williamsville South is probably the next best team in the A North Division. You would see them have to go to Jamestown in the playoff. That would be a very, very interesting game. Two great coaching staffs going at it against each other like that. West Seneca West looks to be really, really good.
They put up some big numbers against
Niagara Wheatfield.
Yeah,
Wheatfield. They had the Isaiah Simmons kid who's really, really good. And other than that, I mean, A is really kind of, I think you have those four teams who are kind of separated from themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Kenmore West just beat McKinley, so, could they be viable? I know they graduated a bit. But again, they just beat McKinley, who was 9-1 last season. So,
good point.
McKinley could it be the city of Buffalo trying to just get things figured out? With a lot of basketball kids on their roster, that's a very big possibility as well. Johnson almost gets through free on the kick return.
Brought it just shy of the 50. Well, and being everything's crazy right now, there's no Far West regionals and no states this year, correctly?
Correct.
So we will have our section champions this year, and that's it.
And they will play, so top 4. So it's only the semifinals and the finals.
Got it.
So week 6, week 7, and actually the cool thing is the sectional championship will be held at the highest seed's home stadium. So if you're the number 1 seed,
whatever
we're
name.
calling it now.
I still call it Rich Stadium.
Yeah, exactly.
Age myself here.
Yeah, exactly. So you'll have these teams that will actually get a chance to play. Oh man, I'll tell you what. So another play once again, right up the middle, and a little read option play. And it was Saquon Bland, the sophomore linebacker. These sophomore linebackers for South Park have done a really, really nice job tonight.
They're thumping.
Yes, and they've just continued to get better. Damari Johnson and Saquon Bland. Damari Johnson started at outside linebacker as a sophomore, put on a bit of weight. They moved him inside, and obviously the results have been fantastic tonight. And so far, the first 2 weeks of the season for South Park.
9:18 remaining. Rieselman in the shotgun, waiting for the snap. Back in motion. Handoff to Johnson on the right side. Gets to the 40. It'll be enough for a North Tonawanda first down.
Yeah, a little counter trey play on the inside there, and they got the ball underneath to Johnson, and you can see that he's
waiting
a
for the
speedy
snap.
player and a game breaker. And
back in motion. Handoff.
Again,
Johnson on the right
little
side.
For this North Tonawanda team
gets
that's
to
maturing.
the 40.
We're going to freeze it here and see what they want to call. So, again, 4-4 defense from South Park. They've been on all game. And South Park's been managing this so far in the second half without Fluid.
Rieselman back to pass, throwing to the left side. Ball falls short, incomplete.
And they were looking for Wisniewski there. And kind of a quieter second half for Wally Wisniewski on the offensive side of things. Defensively, though, he has made some outstanding plays and truly has been the last line of defense. So
let me ask you this, Sean, because one thing that we've seen is North Tonawanda, they're operating that option, and they'll either put Rieselman under center or in the shotgun. What are your benefits of switching back and forth?
Well, it depends on the offense you're in. I mean, it's just another thing for the defense to figure out. Are you in gun? Are you in pistol? Are you in under center? North Tonawanda does all three. They weren't really much under center. Oh, and a jet sweep play just again, just blown up there by Saquon Bland. Does all three through his gap. So they weren't really much under center. I like gun because I think it's a jet sweep play. Just again, you know, when you start going under center, it depends on what you're trying to do with your offense. Okay, because the quarterback's footwork and the quarterback's drops are all going to be very different. And you know, honestly, the quarterback footwork and gun for throwing the football is a lot easier than underneath center. But there's some advantages to going underneath center. The biggest advantage of going in the gun, though, is it makes the quarterback a legitimate run threat. Okay,
Right.
Where under center, in my opinion, unless if you're running the triple option, going under center is an obligatory waste of time. And that's just a personal philosophy I have because you have completely negated your quarterback as a running threat. You've completely negated, you've really hurt your offense here because you're just never going to get the most out of your offense. If you're a double wing team, great, you're a double wing team, okay? If you're a wing T team, great, you're a wing T team. Offenses have its advantages. Offenses has its defense advantages. The triple option has the opportunity to be more explosive typically than the double wing or the wing T does.
But
now
the bottom line is all designed to create mismatches.
Yeah, your system, whatever it has to be quarterback friendly, or it's
useless.
Pardon my language, it's garbage offense, okay?
Right.
You need to make your offense quarterback friendly, okay? And you have to build around your best players and figure out what you have personnel-wise to build your scheme. And obviously they have a quarterback that they're pretty high on, so they're moving him around a little bit. Got him.
Nice completion there. And inside the 20, I can't tell if it is Wisniewski.
Yeah, so
It's hard to see because sometimes it looks
to build
like
your
13
scheme. And
or
obviously they have a
33.
quarterback that they're pretty high on, so they're moving him around a little bit. Great throw by Rieselman to just stick it in there. But again, that's a throw that is
Nice
easier to make out of gun. You could see the field a little bit better. He could take an easier drop. North Tonawanda is going to go with a little bit of pace here. Now, when they go underneath center, again, if you're running the triple option, I'm okay with going under center and running the triple option. And I don't mind going under center as a little change of pace.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're going to build and live your offense down there, it just there's so much that you are leaving that you're leaving desired on it. Oh,
when you talk about Bland, he is putting on a clinic right now in the fourth quarter.
Yes.
The South Park linebacker, and he's hitting with force.
His play is not very bland.
No.
Sorry for the dad jokes out there. I'm just keeping everybody on their toes. But no, in that situation too, here's the other thing too. To stress out a defense, okay, you need to be able to have some sort of space, pace, optionality, all right? All those things going into an offense when you kind of mix them up into a blender. And if you go under center and you're a 22 personnel pro-style team, great, you might score 17 points a game, but you're not really mixing in that optionality. There's no space and pace that you're attacking to it. And just missed.
It looked like Wisniewski pulled up.
Let's look for Wisniewski. Yeah,
he's been
you're not really mixing in that optionality. Here, but you really there's no space and pace that you're attacking to it. It shows how good of an athlete he is. Missed. So looking at it from, and Wally is going to limp off the field here. But when you're looking at things from a football standpoint, again, there's, football has advanced from has advanced so far in the last 6-7 years that, a lot of football I think is just obsolete. You could do all the things you want to do in your other offenses and still do it in shotgun and be effective at it if you do it right.
I always believe that you can succeed at anything if you have the right players running the right system.
Yes, absolutely. So incomplete pass here on 3rd down. But, yeah, and again, it's about plugging the right players in for sure. You know, I believe you can run just about anything other than the double wing. But even so, you saw guys like Chuck Tilley at Frontier. He was running the double wing out of a gun pistol set, still going unbalanced and running those things. So,
well, it comes down to execute. If you execute your fundamentals perfectly, you can't be stopped.
Well, okay. So my question,
It's
though,
execution.
is do you have the ability to put stress on a defense? Do you have the ability to lighten up the box? And here's my thing. Like, again, I had to run a pro-style offense once, and it was like banging your head against the wall because you're running into 8-man boxes with just straight up, and you're blocking like 7-ish, all right? Or you're running into 7-man boxes with 2 safeties screaming down as quarters fitters, all right? And it's like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? You know, I can do that out of gun and do it against 3 less people in the box.
Yeah, if you got the personnel, again, personnel dictates. If you can't get the snap to the quarterback, well, then you got problems.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, there's very few people that still run a pro-style type offense. I will tell you this. Dean Santorio at Grand Island runs a fantastic version of it. They mix in a lot of mixed direction. They're able to power you. They got some bigger guys. You know, they've been doing that forever.
Sure.
You know, I would love to see them if they started kind of moving to some gun stuff and doing things out of there, watching their offense explode. And Dean's one of the better quarterback developers in Western New York. He always has a great thrower of the football.
Yeah, it's usually a starting pitcher.
Yeah, that too. Yeah,
team.
yeah. He certainly knows how to develop kids who can sling it. So
you're going to pitch and play quarterback.
yeah, and they do a great job. That's another team too in Class A that might have something to be said about can they break their way into that top 4 is Grand Island because Dean's teams are always so well prepared.
Seeing South Park's bringing in some of the backup guys to carry the ball.
Yeah, but it looks like NT's kind of starting to empty up their bench and their troops a little bit there. So
is this something that you want to do? I mean, obviously, as a coach, you want to get your younger players the reps.
Yeah.
Get them some time out there.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, too, it's about kids making memories, and we're on borrowed time right now. So
especially for seniors.
Absolutely. You know, that they're so blessed that they have this right now because we didn't think we were going to, and there were so many uncertainties, and now we're going to have it. And, you know, it's out here. We're in week 2 of it. And, you know, so, yeah, you certainly want to have the ability to get your kids out there if you can. And so, and again, that development for the fall, like we were talking about, too, is such a critical aspect as well.
Flags down. I'm trying to catch the number of who's in at quarterback right now. It looks like Trey Holloman.
You might be right there. Number 8?
Yeah, that's what I'm guessing. We were asking earlier before the half when it looked like Hepburn was hurt. We saw him come up favoring his ankle, and we're looking up and down the roster, and nobody's listed at quarterback. So I'm looking, and it looks like Trey Holloman is now quarterback for the Sparks.
Yeah, and we're going to have a personal foul here on the Lumberjacks, so it's going to move South Park up another 15.
3:39 remaining in the game. South Park 38, North Tonawanda 14.
So, tough start to the schedule for the Lumberjacks, certainly. You know, starting off 0-2 here. But, you know, you're seeing progress because, you know, last year it was, you know, they really couldn't just do much. You know, and obviously South Park was so good. You know, you got to give their hats off for playing pretty tough against, a very, very talented South Park team where the sky is the limit for them. And it is really a shame that there isn't a state playoff this year because they're a team, however it shakes out. I mean, again, you know, that Jamestown team is.
But you did say it's a young roster, right?
Yeah, they're going to have.
And so come fall, this could be the team to beat.
Yeah, definitely, too. And, you know, and obviously, you know, Tim's got a pretty good program and he has those guys rolling, so it'll be nice to see because they have some really good things. This one's breaking free.
Hand off to the right side, tripped up as he crossed the 45. It looked like Isaiah Kelly.
It'll be nice to see because they have some really good things. This one's breaking free. More guys just starting to work their way in here as we're starting to.
Now, you guys played last week. You beat Bennett.
Yep.
Now, who do you have for this week?
We play Niagara Falls tomorrow night. As of 9/12 on April 8th, we are playing Niagara Falls tomorrow night at home. It'll be our home opener at Foyle Kling Field, opening up the 101st season of Lancaster Legends football. So
here's a blast from the past for you. I did the very first Wolverines football game at Lancaster when LaSalle and Niagara Falls merged to become Niagara Falls Wolverines. I did that first game, and it was at Lancaster.
2002.
Lancaster won. It was a close game, and now when I run into some of the guys I live in Niagara Falls, and our coach was like, "Yeah, I played in that game. Yeah, thanks. I broadcast it."
Yeah.
Now I'm coaching your kid.
James Starks. James Starks was the quarterback for that Niagara Falls team. I remember that.
I don't think he was.
Oh no, it was before that.
Yeah, Starks was after that.
Okay.
Starks was 05, 06.
No, he was 02, 03, 04, yeah. Oh, good stick at the safety spot there. Try to get a number on the play from North Tonawanda. Great tackle. Okay.
Yeah, it was after
Starks
04
was
because I had my motorcycle.
05,
06.
Yeah, no, he was 02, 03, 04, yeah.
Who made that
Oh,
play
good stick at the safety spot there.
Beautiful
Try to get a
tackle.
number.
Under a minute left in the game.
I want to say that was Van Valkenburg, maybe Swan. I think it was Van Valkenburg, but what a great tackle out there in open space.
Well, thanks to everybody here. Thanks to everybody at WNY Athletics, Tim and the guys, Frank, for bringing you high school football. You may not be able to get to the games, but you are able to go to WNYathletics.com and catch all the action, and the games go up on YouTube.
Yep, and
so if you miss it, you can catch it later on YouTube.
And to you, Tony. I mean, it's been a
It's
pleasure
been
to get
great
back.
Work with you, and great to see you.
Yeah, it's been a while, and from our old days back in the studio at GR and doing the Inside High School Sports and our start on radio way back when, and
I think I was doing play-by-play on WXRL while you were on that Lancaster team.
Yep, and then joined the broadcasting crew,
Yep.
and then did some basketball with you, and we had a great time. So it was a pleasure to be out here tonight.
Pleasure to be with you, buddy. Well, that's going to do it for us. I mean, not much to add to it. It was all South Park tonight. They put in a heck of an effort. North Tonawanda fought hard, and they made a game of it, at least for the first half, and it just kind of got away from them in the second.
Yeah, and again, a gritty effort. They played well on the defensive side of things, and you could see the middle of the field, Rick Tom and Tim Delaney embracing, and the teams doing the new COVID age. Good game.
Yeah, because you can't do the
traditional handshake
so.
lines that usually start on the 50 and then bow their way around to the 40s and kind of start to sway a little bit.
You just kind of wave.
Right. So, but yeah, definitely. South Park asserting their dominance in the second half, showing why they're one of the premier teams in Western New York. Their defense played phenomenal tonight. They were able to bottle up the option for the most part, and they were really clicking. For North Tonawanda, back to the drawing board and regroup. But you know what? A lot to hang their hats on tonight. Again, playing a really tough team and playing them pretty tough for a little while too, and again, just kind of ran out of gas there a little bit towards the end.
He's Sean Brusso. I'm Tony Caligiuri. I will be back tomorrow night at Riverside High School. Pioneer taking on Burgard. I'll be joined by Mr. Tom Prince. That'll do it for tonight at North Tonawanda for WNY Athletics.